Hey everybody, it's Saturday night. You know what that is? That means you're on the Tales from the Flipside channel. What some have said is the Biggie, Tupac, and Jay-Z of comic book channels. This is Modern Comic Mayhem. Tonight we've got a great show for you. We're right on time. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. Cue the music. Hello, everybody. Just shout out to Hartman for telling us that we are like the West Coast of rappers of the comic book channel. But we got a really good show for you tonight. We're going to talk local comic book stores. We're talking Superman, Son of Kal. We are talking a little bit of Star Trek news. I think we got a lot.
What the hell show am I on? Seriously, are we going to talk about Rod Liefeld next or what? What kind of show is this? Trek?
Oh, you missed that by a week, Mr. Suspension Guy.
God, dude. Thank God. That shit's terrible.
And as you can see, Marco's back from his month-long suspension. We couldn't keep him. We couldn't keep him out of the gate any longer. He had to come in. How's everybody doing tonight?
It's good night. It's a good night to join the drinking game. For anybody that doesn't know, go check it out. Secret drinking game. You'll have fun.
I got some pretty cool stuff going on, and that got some pretty cool words, I think, for this week.
Well, we'll see here. What you got? Some new pickups too this week, I think.
I've got some. I've been talking to Hartman a lot, and he got me all fired up. I was at the bar last night, and he's messaging me as I'm getting hammered, and he gets me all fired up. So I get up all early this morning and start hitting comic book stores looking for shit. And of course, my wife's gonna kill me when she gets home when she sees all this fucking shit I bought. So
cool. What do you got? What'd you get? Did you get anything good? Yeah, I want to see what you got, man. The whole point of showing off pickups is showing off books, right?
I didn't know if you wanted to do it now. I didn't know if you wanted to wait. I didn't know.
I just think we should sit here and ramble for a couple minutes, and then what we should do after that is show them books because that's what they came to see. So let's show them the books, Kyle.
Let's just show them some books.
Well, before we show the book,
or not.
Yeah, we're gonna ramble for a couple of minutes, like you said.
I botched.
Listen, I want to say thanks to everybody that joins us live on these shows. We got a lot of fun stuff that YouTube is updating their stuff. So we're going to play poll galore on the chat. So if any of you guys that catch us live, they made it so you can do these cool polls, and we got ways that we're going to use them to, have the chat join us on the shows. We're going to try and do some game show stuff with it. We're going to do all kinds of stuff with it. So, shortly, the only way that you will be able to take place in that live chat is if you're a subscriber. So, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, something like 35% of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel. Please hit that red subscribe button for us, so you guys can take part in the live chats every week on every show, every day.
Do you want to be on the poll? I think.
Do we get a red coat with that?
I hope so. We should all be able to get a red coat for that.
I think those red coats are cheap, man.
They are. You get them at the.
Yeah.
As long as they don't fit. Yeah, as long as they don't fit.
And I think the last time I went to the strip club, that's what they were talking about, polls galore.
That's what I thought when he said polls galore. I was like, holy shit, we're pulling
polls that have polls that have polls.
I was like, oh my God.
We're going to pull some polls here.
I was like, that really changed around.
Yeah. So, but also.
Cool. That's cool, man. That sounds great.
Also, I want to shout out everybody that was with us on the Hot 10 last night. Hot 10 was crazy last night. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but it was one of the crazier shows for the Hot 10 that we've done in a while, man. There was a lot of chat. There was a lot of fun stuff. It was like $200 in super chats from like 10 plus different people, man. It was absolutely bonkers. And I want to say thank you for everybody that was over there dropping those super chats, letting us know how much you guys enjoy what we're doing for you.
We get a lot of super chats here. I just learned how to filter them so nobody else knows we get them.
Yeah, it's good. It's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Polls galore sounds like a rejected Bond girl name. Eric, you are correct. You are correct. I think it's a Bond dude name. Hey, speaking of Masters of the Universe and all the woke craziness, we might get a male Bond girl. No.
I actually like the cartoon. I thought the cartoon was all right.
Was it a male dude that was the Bond girl?
On the cartoon? I don't know. I just watched it's a fucking cartoon for Masters of the Universe. It didn't have to make that much sense. I hate the change into the world here. God, it's cartoons, bro.
It's a joke, brother. It fell flat, I know.
I think. Oh, sorry. I'll laugh next time. Yeah, somebody hit the drums. Please hit the drums next time. Oh, dude, that's some funny shit, bro. That's good shit. All right. Sorry, my bad. I'm not used to this.
Too long, dude.
Man, I know. But I told everybody. I warned them. I'm gonna go. Cons are back opening. They're doing great. I'm supporting our LCSs. We're gonna talk about that a little bit too. I know there's a lot of LCS stuff going out there and people talking about old signs and stuff like that. But Ish brought up a good point. A lot of the people here have LCSs they love. We want to hear shout out to the LCSs and why they love them. We're gonna get into that in a little bit too. I think it's a good idea. But it's good to be back. Good to have some fun. I gotta get back in my rhythm a little bit. What is your back? Oh, your background's the thumbnail. I get it, Kyle. No horror comic books or anything like that. I got it. All right. So what do we got next, Brian?
You tell me.
I think.
Well, I think Wet Dreams
was
asked a question that I think has been on all our minds. Who has seen Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, get out of here, man.
That movie's gonna be bad if you spend $25 at Applebee's, you get to go see it for free.
Really?
What?
Same probably reason.
And a ticket to Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
Is it a Riblet Niblets or whatever? Well, they have
you can watch it while you're eating on that little pay screen. Right?
Oh, look at that! Thanks, Josh.
Josh G was a big proponent of the super chat last night on the Hot 10, so I appreciate him doing it again tonight. Much love, brother. Much love.
Our second super chat ever. I lied before.
Oh, Josh had a good time last night. That's good.
I wish tonight would be as good.
Yeah, maybe
it always is, dude.
Maybe if they promoted us Friday night for tonight, maybe
Who's they?
They is in Brian McClay.
I talk about your show all the fucking time. You guys don't watch the shows.
Yeah, no. I do you see how silent I am? I believe him. He tells me he does it.
I feel like I'm the only one on this channel that promotes other people, man.
Oh, no. That's not true. I promote all the other shows I don't watch. I promote all the other shows I don't watch. I'm always like, hey, make sure you guys are catching the top 10, the hottest show out there on the internet.
Marco promotes shows, but it goes nowhere because he doesn't put any hashtags on any of his tweets or fucking on his IG.
Dude,
so
you're right. You're lucky. I'm old as shit. You're lucky I even fucking know how to hit the power button on some of this stuff, dude.
Well, you worked like in this industry, supposedly. You should know how to do this shit.
Yeah, but I that gave that up a long time ago, man.
Okay, I get that. I'm with you, man. And when you quit doing something for like, a year or so.
He worked for YouTube when it was called YouTube.
10 years. Jesus. Margo's back. Hey, Patrick, where were you? I was in Ohio crapping. And can you get some good-looking girls in Ohio, please? Because it was a train wreck down there of just... there's one girl who had, like... What's the deal with tattoos, too? Like, face tattoos on women in Ohio? Is that, like, you guys trademarking that down there? Or what's going on? Because that's all we saw.
It's a rite of passage there.
Yeah. Hey, there's one. She had the whole head, she had this all shaved here. She had the long hair going on, and then she had tattoos like Bam Bam Bigelow on her head. All over here, dude. Crazy stuff.
It said Bigelow?
Bam Bam Bigelow. Yeah, like the wrestler that had the tattoos. Yeah,
that's
just
awesome.
like Bam Bam Bigelow. She looked like Bam Bam Bigelow. I should have taken more pictures. I had some pictures, but I couldn't share them on YouTube. We get shut down for some of the stuff that was going on there. I'm telling you, it's a good time.
Seems like there's some good shenanigans going on.
No, Dayton is it's part of Ohio. So
thank you for the geography lesson.
So I mean that's all you can say about that place.
That's kind of what I thought too, Patrick.
Hey, you guys want to hear something cool?
Yeah,
always.
Starting next week, you can find Flipside on Whatnot. So all you guys who are Whatnot fans,
The fuck is a Whatnot?
yeah, it's an app that everybody's selling on right now. If you guys are on Whatnot, you can go find Flipside and follow them. And we're going to be trying to do stuff with all the guys on the channel that are part of Whatnot. So I'm not going to get too much into it on the channel, but or right now. But if you guys are on Whatnot, go follow Tales from the Flipside.
Tune in Monday. We'll talk about it for 20 minutes.
I'll talk about it on any fucking show.
Who is this?
You hear that?
You were there? You were there. Code Red Comics, were you there? Anyways, good chat. I'm reading chats again. This is why I love Mayhem. While Brian talks, I pay zero attention, even though he says the most important stuff. And then I'll ask him later about it because I'm too busy paying attention to chat and what's going on in there.
Do you dig women with tattoos on the poll right now? 16 votes, 75% say yes.
That's a poll?
That is a poll, as you can see it. Do you like women with tattoos?
Head tattoos, but still. Good.
Yeah, tattoos are tattoos, man. I dig them.
I don't. I'm not. That's not my thing.
I dig them
on my toe
when they're like right here. No.
Hey, Massive, I wish you were at the show, man. If you were there, next time I get down there, let me know. I'll get you in. But that was a heck of a show. I know you said that you talked to your LCS and they said it was kind of slow there on Sunday. We had to leave like halfway through, but for people buying, it was a pretty darn good show from everybody I heard coming back from there. It was pretty nice.
Chad, everybody digs women with tattoos on a pole.
Can't hate. Can't hate, man.
That's a good poll. That's a good
give
poll.
money away freely.
Yeah, the boys over there, speaking of shows, the Sunday show, this is all they talk about is Whatnot. They just get stuck on these rabbit holes of
Well, can I
pops
say
and
something about
comics
the Sunday show?
Yeah, sure. Maybe. If it's
The
nice.
two best people on that show are Jedi Johnson and JJ Maxwell, man.
I agree.
Fucking killers
Just
over
get
there.
rid of everybody else then. Just have it there.
I mean, they're great. Like, they're okay. I mean, well, one guy only shows up every couple of weeks to the other shows, and then Solo Wookie just, who knows what's going on with Solo Wookie. But Jedi Johnson, JJ Maxwell, man. Killing it.
That's amazing. They are. They're really they're killing it. They're doing a great job. They're I said this to Jedi the other day. He did a Pops thing there, and you can catch that on the show last week or either on Renovision, whatever. You can catch because they clip it out. But the Pops thing he did actually makes sense. I fall asleep during Pops talk a lot of the time, and the Pop stuff that he did though is really good. He breaks it down on a basic level of like not knowing anything about Pops, so that's pretty cool. He's doing a great job.
Speaking of Pops, what's up with Johnny? Are we going to see him anytime soon here?
I'll message him again.
See if he wants to come on the show and discuss some Pops market with us. He buys a lot of Pops on the secondary market, doesn't he? That's another thing. I want to see how many people that are watching us right now. That's another question. I feel like there's like a difference between Pops hardcore collectors and just people that just buy their favorite collectors or their characters, right? Mm-hmm. But how many of our fucking fans are Pops collectors? Let's see here.
No,
I am not a Pops collector.
No, Hartman. No more dad jokes. Banned from channel. Put a poll.
Ish, you're a Pops collector?
You like Pops?
I found these they're not Pops, they were called something else. But they look like Pops, but I found them, they were like, it was like the cast of Stranger Things.
And they're like Russian dolls that you can like put in each other.
No, you think you can put them in each other, huh? Okay. Another poll. Do you like putting things in each other?
Hey, shout out to Chad Cave, who the other night gave away he was watching, I forget what show, Chad, I think it was the Monday show, gave away a Canto number 1 9.2. He's like, I'm having a good time. I'm just going to give away a CGC Canto number 1 9.2 to a lucky fan. I think it was Michael Palmer, right, Chad, that won it. Chad, let us know. Has Michael gotten a hold of you yet? I know for a while there he didn't, but shout out to Chad K for doing that. Listen, our community is so rad. Yeah, he still hasn't contacted him yet. Well, that's a bummer. He's going to miss out on a killer book. We'll see if he contacted us.
I wish people would get too drunk on here and give shit out.
You can always do that, dude. But sometimes you just like, you don't get too drunk. You get wasted.
Who?
And you forget. Anybody playing the drinking game?
Oh, dude. I'm playing it right now.
Yeah. Speaking of that, which type of whiskey you got there?
I get to test one for my wife's work to see if it is good enough to sell. It's a whiskey, straight bourbon whiskey from Texas. It's actually really good.
Leftover Zaggy. I think I still owe you a book. Matter of fact, I feel bad. And I think I still owe Leftover Zaggy a book. I owe a lot of people books. So I'm just as bad as Michael Palmer. You have to let me know if I owe you a book still.
You know, I couldn't even give books away on this show.
Huh? The only problem with giving books away is when they end up being in Singapore or UK or Ireland, Australia. Like the last 10 books that we've given away on the channel, 6 of them have been to places other than the United States. It's been crazy. So
we've got some new releases at the shop that I can't even give away.
That's so crazy to me.
And Kanto is one of them.
Really?
Yeah, we sell 0 Kanto. It's crazy.
Well, I remember when I went in there for the Liefeld show, and you're like, "Look at go take a look at our new release area. You'll find stacks of Something Is Killing the Children, Department of Truth." And let's get into that a little bit. I guess this is a perfect time to talk about some local comic shop talk. One of the things that that we were talking about way long ago is how there's certain books that are super hot in our world that don't sell at your store sometimes. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's just because 90% of the people who read comics don't care about the cost of their book anymore?
I don't know if it's that. I mean, it's weird because like where we are at Scottsdale, we're the only shop in Scottsdale. So yet we still have some very specific demographics. And I think it's a lot of old school collectors and people sticking to the kind of more traditional, you know, we were joking earlier about Superman, but Superman in action is still one of our best sellers. Yet something like Kanto or Something Is Killing the Children or Nice House on the Lake, we do not sell through on.
Yeah, that blows me
so
away.
Maybe, you know, Kal has mentioned it before, like it could be a honey hole for speculators, you know. Well, I guess we don't really get that kind of clientele, or at least not yet. Maybe
I
it's
went there
something
today.
we're still building on.
I bought Nice House. I mean, I guess these aren't really pickups, but they are. But like, I went to your shop today, and I got Nice House on the Lake too.
You used to have no dings in it.
I think we still have the St. Kevin's variant too, just sitting on the rack.
Yes, I think I bought that at your shop as well. I bought this there today. The number 12.
You had that cover, Brian, on your show maybe 2 weeks ago on one of your shows. It's a hot top 10.
Yeah. Which one is it?
It's
the Something Is Killing the Children.
Yeah, and I watched the show, and the very next day at the shop, I logged into Diamond, and that's the cover I could still order. So I ordered some more.
Nice thoughts. I went and picked it up. I picked up a couple Something Is Killing the Children because you guys have stacks of them.
Jedi Johnson saying the same thing. Thick stack of Something Is Killing at his LCS days after dropping.
Is it just
when it first came out, or even now?
No.
Even now. Well, here's what we do know. The numbers of copies on those books really jumped. Something Killing the Children really jumped. Department of Truth really jumped. I think there's like, man, the amount of like variant covers, including exclusives on some of those books, is through the roof nowadays. So I can understand now, you know, maybe seeing more, but for as hot as that book is, and that, you know what, that's another thing. I was talking about this. I forget who I was talking about this to, but do you remember, and Kyle will remember this totally. Do you remember back in the day when New 52 was going on and Batman, the Snyder Capullo run was so great? We used to every month, as soon as that book came out, we would talk about it on the show. We'd talk about the storyline, what happened, how great it was, this and that. And like, we couldn't wait to call each other on the phone. Like, hey, bro, did you read Batman? Did you read this? Did you read that? I feel like people don't even really do that anymore with there's a really hot book that's doing that. I would have thought Something Is Killing the Children, but I believe that a lot of people who buy that book just buy it to flip it or Are they even reading it? You know what I mean?
think it's a great story.
It is. It's a really good story, but there's not as much talk as it used to be on other books back in the day. I remember getting on I remember when Unpressable Defects were going on, and they would talk about that New 52 run like it was one of the greatest runs in history. And we don't talk about storylines in comics unless we're reviewing them anymore. We don't geek out over them. We don't say, "Oh man, did you read that? That was great." I feel like that doesn't happen very much anymore. Is there a new story that has gotten anywhere close to that? How we used to talk about Walking Dead and Batman New 52?
Stray Dogs did that.
Stray Dogs.
I remember Matt. Matt messaged me and he went, "Holy!" Like I had it and I hadn't got to read
Great
it.
point.
And he had messaged me and he was like, "Holy shit! You have to read this book."
Yeah, great point.
He did the same thing to me with Maniac of New York. He messaged me and he was like, "Holy shit! Pick this book up. Make sure you pick it up. It's great." But I mean, it seems like it's far and few between now.
I'd say at the shop, we had that with Hickman's Hawkspox, House of X, Powers of 10.
Yeah.
That was a book where everybody was saying, "You got to read this. Oh my God, it's so amazing. You got to read it."
Same thing with Immortal Hulk. I mean, you saw it on that too. Thanos line 13 and on.
Remember when a Winter Soldier was going on? That was not Winter Soldier, Black Winter. The Black Winter run was going on, and that fell flat. Everything kind of falls flat nowadays, but back then there was like a run of like 50 books where we did that for 50 books straight.
Yes.
We did that for 50 books straight. Walking Dead, New 52 Batman, Flash, New 52 Flash. There was a lot of books where we did that for a long period of time.
I couldn't wait for it to come out. Like I was, you know what I mean? Like the second I was done reading it, I was already bummed that I had to wait a whole month. And not, very few books lately have done that. Stray Dog is one of the ones I'd have to go back to that where I'd be like, "Holy shit. What the hell is going to happen this next book?" Which is such a bummer that was only 5 issues.
Yeah, don't worry.
Marco, how you feeling about
more.
War of the Bounty Hunters? That whole event.
Some of it's good. There's too many titles, to be honest with you. It just right now they're like holding it off to review some of the main stuff, but like it's good. The storyline's good. The only problem is like you already had Dr. Afro, a book that was just getting out of hand of dying because like everything they put in there, every time you're like, okay, this is getting cool. It was only like they split the story in half between her and her brother. Then when you brought in a character, you brought in a cameo of the character, a first appearance of the character, and then you stopped the storyline after that. So it was getting pretty bad there. Vader was pretty good, but now they put a pause on Vader because they don't want to spoil stuff from the main storyline for more Bounty Hunters. Bounty Hunters, the main title, has gotten a little bit better, I believe. The Star Wars title, the main title is garbage, and it's been garbage for a very long time. It's just trash. But the main Bounty Hunter line, the like War of the Bounty Hunters, is actually doing pretty good. That Jabba book was okay. The one shot seemed to be doing okay. They should have just not tied in. They should have left Vader and Bounty Hunters outside of it and just done one shots and the main storyline. It stinks. It's a Marvel event, and is there a Marvel event they've done right since Civil War? So what does that
mean?
Is there a Marvel event that they've done right in comics since Civil War? It was Civil War 2006.
I don't think there's a consensus on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't think they did Civil War right?
Where everyone agrees on an event that was good. I think it's kind of all over the place.
I think it's since 06. I don't think they have because they've had parts that are good and stuff like that, but I don't think they've had a single event where, and it's because of stuff like this. Like if they would cut out the actual monthlies and leave that as their own storylines, and if they would have just done one shots and continue with the War of Bounty Hunter storyline like that, it would be a great event. But unfortunately, they tie in the books, and half the book is like if you buy Vader, half the story you're buying from Vader is in Dr. Aphra, and it's the exact same story from pretty much the same point of view. And it's the same as in the War of Bounty Hunters. You don't need all those books for that. They try to make it up with some decent covers and some decent artists, which is okay. But like even that gets old after a little bit. You know what I mean? I'll tell you
a couple in here. I mean, like Brian Wilson's, he's saying Tears Reborn, and that's what, Marco, you said that was a pretty good story.
Yeah, I like that. I was gonna say so. Like,
well, we were so up and down on that though.
I wasn't. I thought it was great. No, people had different opinions on if it was a shoot or not. I thought it was hilarious.
Like D here's like King in Black, and do you think? I think King in Black started out good, but it was one of those ones, and it was a lot of hype and a lot of expensive.
It fell off,
and it fell off.
Yeah,
but I think Chad Farr up here brought up a pretty good comment. Do you think maybe this is why people aren't reading the stories as much to see what's going on? Is there's so many things coming out of the gate that are expensive that you don't really want to mess it up, and people don't know secondary places to find to actually read.
I think it's different, Mark. Like, so I go to 2 LCSs every Wednesday. I didn't go this last Wednesday, but usually I do. And one LCS is very heavily X-Men Marvel books, right? So most of the guys that come in the first hour there will talk about other books, but like what I hear out of them is like Way of X and how good they're doing with Way of X. Oh, the X-Men relaunch because they did X, Y, and Z, and they have their certain ones. Now those guys are a bit younger than myself and everybody on this panel, but they really like the X, and they even after House of X and Way of X, they're picking up like the multiple covers. They actually like that connecting cover thing that they were doing. They were all in on it and spending and buying stacks of new books, and they liked it.
We have books that are totally all in on every X-Men title.
Yeah, people really do like the relaunch of the X-Men. They like it, but I think for people like us, like Reborn was good. I actually like Way of X, but I don't think anybody here besides me is reading Way of X, are they? That's cool, by the way.
I'm not.
Yeah. No, I mean nobody's reading Way of X.
You know that bounty hunter. You know that it's kind of that. Was it the bounty hunters one with it's got Boba Fett big on the cover? Is that the bounty hunters number 1?
Mm-hmm. The one you showed earlier.
This one right here.
Oh, those are the trading card ones.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I almost bought that today for like
it's cool.
$50. Yeah.
So if you put them all together, so that's number 1. If you put them all together, all these trading card ones together, they
form what too, right? Or is it just a couple that connect? Is there one?
If you go back up to the top corner, if you go back up, so that this at the top left corner here,
that guy.
Yeah, so that's one. Yeah, see how that. So see the book that he just showed you, the one you almost bought for $50, Kyle, was him in the middle, and then they're supposed to connect to. It's like one of those things, old school card things where you put them together and they all connect together.
See, I'll admit it, man. I was always a geek for connecting covers. I always thought they were dope. I even tried to get like the frames where you could put them together and connect them and put them on the wall. Sometimes they just didn't work as well back then. I'm sure they've got really good ones now, but I love connecting covers, man. I think they're dope.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I know it's not like, I think sometimes too, we get stuck as content creators and stuff like that, especially on the channel that we get stuck in this mode of like talking about the hottest books speculation wise. But if you look at our chat right now, there's 4 or 5 guys that are saying like they read the Way of X, like, and it gets away from us sometimes because we're too used to like reviewing books, and sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. I've luckily been able to stay consistent with some of my reading, so like that type of stuff, I get it. But yeah, I mean, the Way of X is probably, I would say, out of the main titles, that's probably like DC's titles and Marvel's titles. That's the one where it's consistently each time it comes out, people are like, "Hey, dude, hey, you know, like, did you read it yet? Did you read it yet?" The next day I show, either the next day I show up or the next week I show up. What did you think about last week's Way of X? And that book does get some pub. I just don't think if you're not going to the LCS, I think that's part of what's happened in the last year, right? If people aren't going into their LCSs that much, if you aren't spending that time on the floor, you're not going to hear this type of stuff. You're not going to hear what people are reading. Like if something's killing children snuck up on people, okay, I don't know if it should have, because like at the beginning of that series, people were actually really liking it, not just speculators, but other people. Same thing with Stray Dogs. People liked that when it first started to come out. Way of X is something they like, but it's overprinted too. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge printing on that. But as soon as anything happens in there, then all of a sudden it hits one of these channels. Like when they brought Magneto and what's his name when they come together, Magneto and Xavier.
Onslaught.
When they brought an Onslaught, then all of a sudden the Onslaught book took off. When they talked about Shadow King. All of a sudden, Shadow King took like it's
And
Well,
different.
that's always
coming
been
back.
the same way in
Right.
comics. That's always been that way.
No, I get that, but people are reading that book and then they're saying, "Oh, cool, Onslaught showed back up," and then all of a sudden, somebody hears that or they see it and then they're like, "Cool, now we're going to speculate on Onslaught." Or same thing with Shadow King.
72% no on the question if they like connecting covers.
I don't really
72%.
Dude, I love connecting covers. Like one of my pickups for tonight are connecting covers. Like still like I've got like the second prints of the Walking Dead, like 100 to it's the Negan. It's the Negan and Lucille thing. Like that's some of my favorite connecting covers is that. And there's like another Walking Dead one that they just, I don't know. I love connecting. I don't know. Maybe it's like a
Marvel did some back in the day that were really good. That a lot of people they did it as second prints and stuff. Here is the let me open this in the new tab real quick here. Here is the Negan one. This is one of the bigger ones that everybody talks about. But Marvel did some back in the day that were kind of sneaky. They were like second and third prints. Like they did one for Hope in the X-Men run. You remember that? It said something like she will return or something like that. There was a Logan one. There was a Spider-Man one. And I love those covers just to own all of them. Not for spec value or any of that stuff, but just to own them. I think they're really dope. But they probably do hold a little bit of a resale value because they are harder to get than the normal covers.
Josh, I kind of agree on this, but I kind of disagree. How much people are paying for quote unquote Marvel key books or Marvel trend books compared to like the $5 you're going to pay for a new book? Now, I hate that they roll out the one or they give you the super if you want to buy DC. If you want to get the better paper, you got to pay $2 more for it. I agree with that. But at the same time, I think that's part of it. Like, I think when you can go, like if you're going into the stores, right? Like if you go to a good store, not only has the manager or the owner read it and they'll give you a little bit tip on it, but you'll also get, feedback from the people there so that you're not wasting your money on books, which to be honest with you, I think that's probably how it goes. Because when I listen to you guys talk about what you like in comics, I'm like, is everybody like, I always say it. The only thing people in Arizona like are, Todd McFarlane books and bad DC books and horror. That's it. That's all you guys like over there because that's what I hear all the time. Like, and I know it's not true, but you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like a thing. And then when you get, it's even here, there's a comic book store that's further south. If you go there, it's a whole different climate than the comic
So you're
book
telling
store.
me the people in the South don't like Todd McFarlane covers?
South of what? Michigan?
South of listen, anywhere you are, people like Todd McFarlane covers. Like,
I don't think
anywhere.
I don't think Todd McFarlane. I don't think it's as big of a deal. I don't think
You're crazy.
I don't think
You're
it's as.
Hey,
No.
You know what?
You
It's
know, you
time
guys.
for a
I
poll.
swear to God, you
It's
guys.
time for
See,
a
this
poll,
is the
Brian.
Arizona guys are going. Dude,
All right, let's start a poll.
I was just showing Ish.
Hold on, he
pickups
might
the
be
other day.
right. Let's start a poll.
I was just showing Ish pickups. I picked up a ton of McFarlane Spider-Man covers for 50 cents a piece. People are passing them over. It's not as big as it is for you guys down there. It really isn't. It's not like people don't care as much about it as you.
All right,
And don't put up 300. Don't put up 300 in torrent. I'm talking
all right, hold on. So let me throw this up here. We're gonna go to the poll, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's terrible. Holy cow. It's hard to do this on the fly like this, you guys. Let me tell you.
the one guy goes, "I'm in New York. I love Top Art."
All right, so this is what Jesus, we're not gonna mess with it. All right, so let's do this. Let's make a poll
There
here.
are any Todd McFarlane.
Hold on,
covers.
we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
Harley connected cover.
Dude,
This is what we've done now.
I would
We're
be in
going out of
comic
control.
book heaven. I'd be like floating on a cloud if I had connecting cover Todd McFarlane.
All right, let's find
like
out if
Teresa
you guys
now.
like like McFarlane or not. And
Tell your wife I like Cherry 7 Up too.
All right, let us know if you like McFarlane. We'll find out.
Wait. You can't live in Arizona and do the poll though. You just can't.
What are you talking about? I'm not hitting anything.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying that I don't think, like, I know you guys love it and you guys talk about like all the time. And I get that.
I don't think we do. I think McFarlane is a staple in the comic community, especially when he lives in your same state. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a big thing. You know what
Everybody
I mean?
in Arizona, we got like 50 people in the chat in Arizona filling out the poll right now. Like, I get it. No, I understand that. No, I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying you're wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, I think comic book stores, I know this for a fact, even in the state I'm in, if I go to different comic book stores in different areas, different stuff on the east side doesn't sell on the west side of even like my area, not even the state, just of my area. Same thing with going a little bit to the south. It's a little bit different of a mentality of buying and selling. And I think that's what kind of Ish was talking about. Like in Scottsdale's, apparently you can't sell anything. He is agreeing.
If McFarlane was from Michigan,
yeah, he would be. You're right. No, he'd 100% be. Absolutely. No, that's exactly what I'm saying. No, I'm exactly saying that. Yes, 100%.
Gen X Comics, he thinks he's overrated.
I mean, I don't. It's not a discussion if he's overrated or not. That's not what I was trying. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're back on it. Now, look, I'm not trying to criticize him. I like his stuff. I'm not in love with him. Like, I mean, you guys literally, we had one Arizonaite, is that what you guys call yourself? Literally coon over opening a box from him for 32 minutes. You would not get that shit out here. That box would have been open already. That's all I'm saying.
It must have been at some con, Patrick, that Todd McFarlane.
He doesn't even leave Arizona. He's not. First off, that skinny dude ain't stealing nobody's shit. Number two, no. He doesn't even leave Arizona. So no. You're just mad, Patrick, because I made fun of Ohio starting.
Absolute Geek doesn't count.
Yeah, well, all right. I appreciate it. There we go. We got one for Arizona, one convert. All right.
30 votes right now. Do you like Todd McFarlane or not? 67% said yes. So
all Arizonaites. I actually thought it was going to be higher. I thought it was going to be 80-20. So we're doing pretty good right now.
I bet you not. There's not as many people from Arizona in our chat as you think.
Yeah. Do you like Todd McFarlane?
Of course. And anybody from the great state of Michigan is great too. I appreciate that.
Damn it. I misunderstood.
Hey, you know what I say? I say, I don't care what state you're from. If you watch this channel, you're great.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Oh, we're doing good. Thanks, Clark. We're just having a discussion on how people from Arizona want to crap on me, but that's all right. it's all good. No, I mean, I'm just saying it's different markets in different place. I agree with what Ish is saying, and that's even in your state, you can find different things going on, which is good. And show fingerprints. That's pretty. Oh my god,
dude!
Look, the box and show. It's not about the box not showing fingerprints. It's about licking the tape for 10 minutes and kissing and making out with the box. Not necessary. Just not necessary. All right.
I'll let Todd know how you feel, and we'll
go ahead. What's he gonna do
when we have lunch?
Leave Arizona? That ain't gonna happen.
He ain't leaving shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He loves it here.
Yeah. Go make another toy, dude. That's what made you popular.
Hey, when he comes out with those Princess Bride toys, man,
yeah,
I'm buying all of them.
I'm buying that shit.
And I hope, I hope that those are fingerprintless boxes.
Where's Solo unboxing is the question, and
he's still unboxing that shit. Dude.
Yeah, the answer is.
Did you guys go to the McFarlane store at over at Westgate?
Oh my god! See, that's all you guys fucking talk. Is there any other fucking comic book or comic book?
No, he had a store studio, and it was every McFarlane figure they produced, all on the shelves.
I stood in line in front of that store for like 15 hours for his autograph.
Yeah, I mean, do you see what I have to put up with? I think chat started to. I think if we can recenter that poll, it might change now because I think chat started to turn on you guys. They're seeing what I have to. Oh Jesus, Jesse James is here, so we're gonna get another guy. You heard me knocking McFarlane. Now he's gonna come in here and tell me how great McFarlane is too. Oh, great. I wasn't knocking him. I was just saying he's not as loved every place as in Arizona. He's got this weird love thing going on because he never leaves Arizona. I get it. Other places not as important to people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. When your ears are burning, I'm prepping to do a live show, and I just hear Arizona. We got Scottsdale in the room, and now you got Glendale, Arizona in the room. We are a hot freaking market. And it doesn't matter where you go. I could go outside and throw a stone. I have 5 stores around me within 5 minutes. We are slinging books in the state of Arizona.
Tell them, Jesse. Every time I hear these guys complain, they say there's no place to buy books. I say, You don't want me going to Arizona because then there won't be a place to buy books because you guys, I mean, you're just not digging hard enough. You have 5. I can't believe how many stores you guys have all over the place in Arizona, and these guys complain all the time.
No,
Right,
when we were complaining, it was COVID and everything was shut down at the time. That's when we were complaining. You are 100% right, Jesse. There are plenty of stores here in the Valley, and you can get just about anything you want.
You know, there is a lot of great stores here, but there's reasons why you always want to go to a certain comic book store, and there's always reasons why you avoid other comic book stores. Every comic book store, you know, I was telling Brian this today. We were having a long discussion about this. This is why we're talking local comic book stores. And everybody, you guys love your local comic book store. Show some love for your local comic book store and show them in the chat. We want to show them up. But what I was telling Brian today is when you sold new issues, the best thing about it was, first off, you always found badass stuff at Jesse James Comics, as you still do. But you had the point system. So as you spent money, you built up points, which took chunks off of your bill every so often. And I was telling Brian that was the greatest thing that I loved it because you could build them up, and so I would, on my big weeks, I could knock money off even more because, you know, you did a little discount, you bagged and boarded them. And then on top of that, I made points and I could get even more off of my tab every week. And I wish more stores would do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it becomes you just really have to understand margins and turn rates and sell-throughs. You also have to understand your customer base. There are customers that literally were getting their $10 off within one bill. And then other customers, it would take them all year to get that $10 off because they're only buying $2 a week. But when they came in and said, oh my gosh, I'm ready to use my points, it's a great thing. You always want to give back to your customers. It's one thing to, you know, the comic book world is very simple. The happy customers are customers that walk out of your store with a bag of comics. That's your whole goal. Get them great comics, give them great service, but also reward them for coming to your store. It's their choice to get in their car, drive through traffic, pass 3 stores to get to me. My biggest box holder back in the day lived in Globe, which was way past Mesa. And he would drive past 10 stores to get to my store to pick up his $20. And so I think there's something about culture. There's tradition. You guys were talking about the difference between, you know, customers coming in. There's a group of customers, probably about 25% of your customers that walk in that's hello, here's your box. All right, we'll see you next week.
Kyle was just talking about that, Jesse.
Yeah.
I shit you not. Right before the episode today, we were talking about this topic and, you know, would it be a good topic to talk about? And he's like, you know, half the time when I go into my store, it's just like, hey, thanks for my books, and I'm out. It's no sitting talking, no nothing. It's in and out.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Exactly.
I knew to Jesse's that I was there for 2 hours. Like, it was time between picking up my books, looking at the crazy stuff that's in your store. I remember just sitting there and people just walking with a collection of them and be like, and then you would go, there it is. Why aren't you already looking through it?
Yeah.
And or I missed that local comic book store talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My greatest story is I had a 6-year-old come in and I think he turned 8. And one day he comes in with this pack of kids, about 20 kids with him. I guess they must have just came out of school. And he turned around and he goes, this is my comic book store. I've been shopping here my whole life. And that's what you want to build. So, you know, I celebrate January 25th, 2022 is my 40th year selling comics. And nothing has changed. Whether you can say, well, there's graded and eBay and third market, nothing has changed. People love comics. They're going to buy it. I don't care if you're a flipper who only buys to reflip it or someone who just buys cover art. It's the point that the comic book community allows you to be part of that. We're not partial to anybody. You know, I was talking to a guy today and he said, well, I don't understand why you don't grade all your books. And I said a simple thing, and I know it irked him a little bit because I said, because I like to read my key books. It was a very simple comment. not realizing that guy was 22 years old and he had a different concept of how to buy comics, where mine was for 40 years I've read comics. So very, very cool stuff, but great conversation. LCSs don't get enough talk. It's about the second market. It's about the third market. It's about what's in the top 10. LCSs, you got to keep in mind, there's 1,800 store owners in the nation out of 17,000 cities in the United States. There's 10,000 plus people that sell comic books on eBay. So you do the math. So it's a crazy business, but I will tell you, get out to your community, talk to your people, inform them, and congratulate them on big buys. That's the big thing. I told everybody the secret. I got in trouble for telling you guys the secret about 6 months. But the secret in the comic book world, I'm telling you guys, the secret in the comic book world is wish everybody happy birthday. When it pops up on Facebook, wish them happy birthday. It's a big, big thing. Big accomplishment there.
Well, we've had a lot of people recently in the last couple of weeks send us messages about how much they love seeing pickups and stories of pickups, which is crazy to me because it's always been something that we did, but a couple of shows kind of jumped on and did a couple extra shows on pickups, and people have loved seeing that because they love hearing the stories about how they found certain books, and that's the type of stuff that you would hear a lot in shop talk. When you're hanging out the shop all day, you hear about these great stories, and it's the same type of thing. So I think also, like you said, tell them, congratulate them on good buys and great buys and cool finds and those type of stories. It's very important. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you and Ish here and everybody in the chat, what about the stores out there that don't do the pull box discounts and that type of stuff? Like, is there any reason for them to do that? Is it good for business for them? I get it. It's all how you do business and you all have reasons for it. But I feel like that type of thing really helps out on where you shop. Am I wrong on that?
Ish, you want to go first?
Well, I was just thinking of an example. I won't name the shop, but they've been open, I think, around 30 years. I believe they're in Pennsylvania. They've never given away a free bag and board, and they've never discounted a new release. So that's one end of the spectrum. For us at our shop, I think our pullers, and they like the perk of getting 10% off and free bags and boards. So for some of them, that's a big enough reason to like, all right, I'll start a pull list.
Yeah.
I listen. At the end of the day, if I think coming from my corporate background, we would hope that everybody shops at your store because they want to, and the secondary is, I get a discount. If it's I get a discount, I shop at that shop. How do you get that back to, I love shopping at that store. I get a discount. So when we were full board, when we were carrying new issues, we still carry DC and Scout and all that. I had 500 box holders. So when you have 500 box holders, hey, Tobin, what's going on, buddy? How you been? Tobin will tell you. Tobin was the very first customer ever to shop at my store. But 500 plus box holders. So when it came down to discounts, it's about it's business 101, right? Turn rates, bottom line, and sell-throughs, or turn rate, sell-throughs, bottom line. However, then you got the comic book world. Throw out business 101. It's my 500 box holders. How can I get all 500 box holders to come in within 2 weeks, 1 week? So that's your challenges when it comes down to, do I give discounts to people that might not show up in 3 months, but I've already bought their books for them? And the funny part about this is everybody knows this. A person, you come up with their comics. I got 50 comics. And at checkout, they're like, okay, here, I'm ready to check out. Didn't you have 40 comics? It looks like there's only 15 comics here. Oh, no, I don't like those titles anymore. So it's a very interesting concept. Do you need, and pardon me when I say this, I don't want to insult anybody when I say this. Do you need a gimmick to sell new issues? I think you have to take it store by store. In my case, when you're now, keep in mind, when I opened up my store, I opened up across the street from Atomic Comics. I had no fare. I mean, they were literally across the street from me. I'm going, this guy that no one knows goes against the biggest store in town, one of the top 5 stores in the world, and opens up across the street, because I said, listen, my customer service will outweigh any discount you give. And so that's how I built my business. But at the end of the day, as stores close, you start to pick up all their customers. I bought 16 stores in 12 years. So I picked up all those customers. So you go from 50 to 100 to 200 to 300 to 400 to 500 customers. So at the end of the day, do what it takes to sell your comics as long as you are making money. The second you start breaking even or you're losing money, that becomes that line of, is 10%, is 20%, is a bag and board. Shoot, I haven't got a bag and board in. I'm actually, the next bag and board I get, I'm sending to CGC, because I can't find bag and boards to save my ass. I mean, I'm going on 10 months with no bag and boards, back orders to October, November. I drove to LA just to get bag and boards from a comic book store, and I had to send my girlfriend in because I didn't want to see a store owner who couldn't get bag and boards. So
I don't even know what bags I'm using now. It's some random bag. I found some at a con and I was like, I'll buy you out of it.
That's the second time today I've heard that, though, the bags and boards thing.
And so for a comic book store, imagine if you gave free bag and boards to your customers, and now can it do that?
Yeah.
So
I think JJ hit it on the head, and this is one of the best answers I've ever seen when it comes to asking that question about, getting discounts at your store, this and that. Service is the king, man.
Yep.
Like one thing that I love about good comic book stores, local comic shops, when you go in that shop and you say, hey, do you have this? They say, no, but I'll find you one.
Yep.
No, but I'll get you one. Like that is the king.
That was one thing I loved about it, because, like the first time I ever been to Jesse's, his mom was behind the register, and I remember it was Jesse and Jesse's dad, and they were sitting there with these piles of books, and they were just going to town, listing them on eBay. I don't even know if that's what they were. Actually, I don't even know if that's what you guys were doing. That's just what I assumed you guys were doing. But you guys, there was a glass case, and then you guys were sitting there, and you each had a laptop, and you and your dad were just going. You guys are just. Yep. I asked you guys a question, and you're like, it's either on the store or it's here. And I mean, you guys are super helpful. And it was like, it's either here or here. We'll find it. And I was like, all right, great. But I just thought that was awesome. And then I got talking to your mom, and then I was just like, it was great.
Yeah. And when it's funny, in your 40s, you don't think you're going to see your mom and dad too much. And then one day my mom and dad walk in and say, hey, we're retired. We're going to start working at your store. And I thought that was cool, right? Okay. Once a week they'll be in, they'll do my taxes for me. Well, for 10 years straight, they came in every day. And sometimes I would get frustrated because people would actually come in and say, hey, is your dad here? I'm like, yeah, he's right back there. Hey, when is the new X-Men coming out? You could have asked me that, type deal. But I think service is, we're one of the few we're the first store in history to ever win best customer service as a best practice with Diamond. First store ever to do that. And there's an honor thing, there's a pride thing, but then it's also, if I walk out that door, will you get the same service from my team? And can my team be me when I'm not here? So I think when you talk about customer service, you have to talk about your whole team. Back then, I had 45 employees. So I had a great team. As of today, I have about 12 great employees. But I should be able to leave and know that we're going to give out the best customer service possible. So yes, service is always first. But also we're in a day and age where you have to look at a person's budget, and you have to make sure that everybody's budget when they come up, or you have an inkling of their budget when they come in. And I think once you do that, we provided the rebate system the customer service rebate system, because we knew if we could capture everybody's information when they came in, I could go on my screen while they're shopping around and look at the last 15 items they bought. I could look at any notes saying, hey, they asked for Tales of Suspense. Okay, let's give them some even better service. Oh, last time you were in. And so it's about customer data. It's
knowing
about
your customer.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing your customer, feeding off it. This day and age, I'm going to tell you, last night, I was telling Brian this, I thought this was very funny. I had a book in my store I could not sell for $30 to save my ass. I must have showed it on the binge bar for 30 days. Could not sell this freaking book. And I have 15 of them. Could not sell this book for $30. Last night it was your number one on your top 10. I sold all 15 for $125 today. People are watching you guys, and they're making decisions. And they say, hey, that Jesse James, he's got him on his show. Oh, they're $125. So we have to react to everything going on, and realizing eBay is a great factor. All these other pages are a great factor. What you guys do is a great factor. And then we have to feed off that hype. And then we have to go out and push books. So we're always going to be slinging. That's why I watch you guys. I think you're very informational. You help my community become better and more knowledgeable about what they're buying. I think that's very important. We can't always do that as store owners.
That's I'll be honest, man. That's one of the best things that I think that we can hear. Is because, in all honesty, one of the things that we, and these guys can all kind of attest to this, one of the things that we really try to do, especially on this channel and in this community that we're trying to build, is give people the correct information. Now, listen, things can be wrong every once in a while, but as long as you correct it and say, hey, we found this out, and be honest, and not sell them stuff that isn't the truth. And the way that everything is instant nowadays with the internet, you can't do the opposite. You'll lose all respect. People will not listen to what you have to say, this and that. And it's that type of stuff is fleeting. It's very fleeting.
Right. Yeah. So. And one of the things, and listen, when I say this, I'm not saying this to brag. Okay. I'm not saying this, but right now I'm selling about 6,000 books a week. My goal is not to maintain 6,000 books a week. My goal is to sell 7,000. And how do we do that? Well, we have to be informed, and we have to allow ourselves to be informed. I have talked to, I've been to 40 stores over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Across the nation. I'm heading to Minneapolis. We'll be flying in, picking up a 20,000 piece collection. We'll be driving back. We picked out 25 stores we're going to stop at. We'll be doing live shows, state to state, side of the road, by mountains, by rivers, or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, you listen to these stores who are so set on, this is how much I'm going to sell it for. And if it sits on my shelf for the next 2 years, that's great. But this is what I'm willing to sell it for. We are not museums. We are sellers. We need to sell our books, and we need to go out and buy new books. And we need to realize that in our back room, we have so many key books. It is ridiculous. I just had Danny. Everybody knows. Well, you guys know Danny.
Yep.
And I have my Drek boxes. Literally had my Drek boxes, and about 5 boxes that were going in the dollar room. And he calls me over. This is no joke. He did this last night. No joke. He hands me about 55 books. He goes, "Here you go. These books were in your dollar area. You're getting ready to put it in." I go, "Okay." I'm like, "Okay, these are like $4 or $5. No, look that book up. Oh, first Freddy Krueger. Fright Night #3. Oh, that's a $125 book. What the hell am I thinking?" So even the guys, even people like myself who kind of think, okay, we know about 80% of this game, can have someone come in right after us and say, "Here you go, dude, because you missed all these books." So we have to be very knowledgeable. We have to look out for our customers. I also want to say that it's okay for a customer to get that $100 book out of my dollar bin. It's okay when someone gets an X-Men 94 from me. Yeah, exactly. Gets an X-Men 94, and I'm happy for them. I'm not the guy that has the sign behind his counter that is the most stupidest sign in history that I have seen doing corporate America and the comic book business for over 30 years. We should sell our books. We should honor what our prices are on those books. We should not be lazy and saying, well, you go through my boxes, you pick out the keys for me, and then I'll price it at top market for your time. No, it's let your customer shop. And if you miss something, you miss something. Listen, you're in these books for pennies on the dollar if they're on your room in your dollar bin. But you're not
you're not missing on them, Jesse, and that's part of the thing. Like that was part of the con. We were in Gem City for the con too, and there's some great dealers out there, and one of them, he does $5 books and $2 books. Right now, he pulls out some of the other stuff, leaves it, but you'll get $50, $100 books in those $5 bins. Everybody's like, how can he be selling? Well, because he paid it off. It's all you said. Yeah, he's getting the money to go out and buy more, so he can get the keys. Not the like semi keys, not the $50, $100 keys, but he can get the $1,000 keys, go buy new collections, and then he passes it back on. Now, there's a lot of people that will come up to him and be like, oh, and he knows what's in there. And they're like, can I get a discount on this? It's a $5 book, dude. You just got $100 book for $5 books. And he's like, no. And then he and moaned over it, which for us, we'll just take it out of your hands then at that point. Like it works both ways. Like if you're going to be one of these guys that are in there, like, that's $100 book. It's in good shape. If you don't know what he's doing, then put it back. Cause I'll come right in and scoop it up in a second. And that's
right. And that falls under the role of next customer up. Mm-hmm. Right. We talk to that customer. All right. I'm sorry I couldn't get that book for you. Next customer up. There's always a customer. We are like pudding. There's always room for more comic book fans. There's always room for more pudding. And so no matter what you guys are selling, what platform you're selling on, I'm very fortunate that I can turn on my camera right now and take some whatever I got behind me and have 6,200 customers, vetted customers ready to buy from me. And they're vetted customers, but they've also vetted me. And they've said, listen, I want to shop with this guy who I might never meet in my life, but he's on that screen slinging books. I trust him. He's been in this business a long time. So build your community. But I'm glad you guys took some time to talk about LCSs. There's very few times that you can go to any of these web pages and see any stories on web page or on stores, unless the store is closing. Then it's all the hoopla in the world. So I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the LCSs. You guys have been consistent about it. That's why I look at it as consistency. You're always inviting me on the show. You're inviting a lot of my friends on here own comic book stores. They can't stop talking about you guys. So I thank you for inviting me on for this short period of time. And at the end of the day, let's just sling some books, man. Have some fun and go out and dollar dive. And I put out all my picks every day. And
well, I want to thank you again, man, because for coming on the show all the time and being a friend of the show. And before we let you go, one of the coolest things, two coolest things that I think need to happen more and more in comic shops, and this goes out to the creators out there. One of the coolest things ever is being able to walk into a store and see creators in the comic book store with you, talking comics with creators, and being able to go in stores and just, you can walk into Jesse James or Fantastic World Comics and see Marat Michaels there, or see Big Dog Inc. there. You see a lot of these creators that are putting out the books there. That's one really cool thing, and that I love about going into your local comic shops and always shopping at local comic shops, seeing creators. But another thing I want to remind everybody is you talked about how you can just sling books from anywhere and slinging books. And that's one thing that you're doing. And so if you guys don't know, we talk about CBSN on the show all the time. Jesse's got an amazing thing going over there. Go to facebook.com, check out Comic Book Shopping Network. An amazing place. You don't have to worry about the silliness at most places. As a matter of fact, it looks like Jen King is live right now selling books. Another one of the biggest LCSs in the United States. So good stuff. Go check it out. Comic Book Shopping Network, CBSN on Facebook. Thank you, brother.
Right,
I appreciate
and just
you.
give you a quick breakdown, then I'll jump out of here. My eBay store is Just James Comics /eBay. Lifetime 82,000 feedback. Never had a neutral, never had a negative. Very cool stuff about that. Or justjamescomics.com. Just James Comics on Facebook. We have 47,000 followers. The great thing about Comic Book Shopping Network, we have now aired 8,100 live shows, 16,000 archived shows or hours, I should say. We average about 105,000 comments a month. So we rock it out. It's 26 flagship stores across the nation. Give us a try, guys. I love your show. I love everything you do. Thank you for taking care of our community. Rock and roll, and we'll see you next time.
Later,
Thanks,
Jesse.
Jesse.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
Really good stuff, you guys.
I'll
Really
never
good stuff.
forget, though, ending on the Jesse note. There's two things that I always remember about. Well, there's a lot of things I remember about Jesse. He's just an awesome dude. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But I remember, I've got some really cool books because of Jesse. Books I would not have in my collection, and I've talked about this on the show before. And he, like when he sold. Remember, we found that X-Men '94 in a collection. He let us dig through, picked it up, and we were like, all right, it's gonna be like $400. It's gonna be out of my range. We're not gonna be able to buy it. We said, hey, we found this in here for you. And he was like, oh, cool. He's like, do you want to buy it? And remember, we were like, yeah. What did he put? $35 on the tag? And I was like, really? Only $35? He's like, what? You don't want to buy it? I said, fuck yeah, I want to buy it. But he told me something. We talked about this in a couple other books like that he sold for me for reasonable prices. And he goes, why am I going to sell you that book for hundreds of dollars when, with a chance that you're going to be like, okay, and not come back? You're here every week, spending money, hanging out, talking about the store. Why would I not pass my savings on to you? And I think that's awesome of a comic book store to think about that when it comes to their customers.
Amen.
You know, because I also remember sitting down with Jesse's mom.
Yeah.
And this was so much fun. And she would take me in the back room and we'd sit down and she'd pull up the Diamond account. And this is something I've talked about Ish about. And this is what's cool about Ish's store is this is something Ish does this kind of stuff for me as well. Is I want something. Okay, this is what we'll need to do to get it. But she would sit down with me and I'd be like, I want these books. I just rattle off all kinds of crazy shit and incentives and all this stuff that I wanted. And she'd be like, okay. And she'd, yeah. You know what I mean? And she'd work it out. It's the same thing with Ish. I said, hey, Ish, I want this book. All right, let's figure out what we need to do to get it. And I think that's something that a lot of comic book stores don't seem to have. And that's one thing I really like about Fantastic Worlds and Ish is, you know what? They're going to help me find that book that I want. And I think that's what a lot of comic book stores don't do now.
Check this out. This is kind of cool. Haven for Heroes hit us up. He said when we were talking about creators being in stores, Scott Snyder was in my shop today and he said, check his Twitter. And sure enough,
That's awesome.
here on Twitter, Scott Snyder's chilling out. That's pretty dope.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That is awesome. Look at that. There we go. New 52 Batman.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, hey, you guys, where are you at? Haven for Heroes. Let's check it. Let's give him a shout out real quick. Port Jervis, New York. So if you guys are in that area, New York area, make sure you guys go check out Haven for Heroes. Cool stuff. Let's see what we got here. I love giving people that what is this? This is something I don't want to mess with this. That might get me into something. But here you go, Haven for Heroes. And you guys that shop at this store, let us know if you guys like the shop, what you think. Love hearing local comic shop owners and stories from local comic shops. So good stuff. Very good stuff. Shout out to Haven for Heroes.
So Ish, are you noticing this bag and board crisis as well?
Hell yeah. And
today's the first day I've heard of this.
starting to get low, so there are options out there. The prices are going up. Someone in the chat way earlier said their LCS gives them 25% off and a free bag and board. I think that's nuts because that means that store is making no money off new releases.
But I know the margins are thin when you do stuff like that, and I think
margins are thin with just a cover price. You know what I mean? The margins are razor thin. And then you got discounts and free bags and boards.
You're hoping that people buy a bunch of other stuff and backstock and
what up, Big Nosh?
Yeah, it's kind of for us. New releases is the gateway to back issues because you know what? I'll be 100% honest with you guys. We make more money off Funko Pops than we do off new release comics.
Yep. I've heard that many times.
That's by a mile.
Hey, so that's why some people. That's why some shop owners, for the longest time, kind of took a step back from back issue sales. And I know it's changing right now with all the different, diamond changes and lunar and DCBS and all the craziness that, where you have to go and order books and this and that. Hopefully it will get better down the road. But, I'm all for things changing if they're not working correctly the first time. Let's hopefully see if make sure that this change works better. Progress. Exactly. It's all about progress, especially in the local comic shop world. I mean, listen, we have some really big retailers that are friends of the channel that talk about the world of comics right now and what's going on and everything's crazy in the world, but the world of comics is just as crazy, and we're crazy to begin with. So if you're out there and you're pushing books for a store or as an online retailer or whatever you're doing, good on you and continue doing it. And hopefully we can help out in any way we can.
One thing I did want to touch on that Jesse mentioned is, like, for instance, pullers. He mentioned when a puller puts, they pulled 18 books, but they only bring 5 to the counter. A pull list is it's like a relationship. It's not just one way. I feel there is like an etiquette that a lot of pullers don't realize when they sign up for a subscription for a pull list, for a pull box. Is there are certain expectations of the customer also, and one of them is if you got a book on your pull list, you're buying it. You're not putting it back because it's already been paid for. Especially if it's a title, and maybe that customer doesn't know. Maybe he thinks we sell 50 Red Sonjas every time they come out. But the reality is he got the only one, and we know if he puts it on the rack, it's never going to sell.
I try to take mine off. Like if I stop reading a title or I've just fell off of it or it's not something I really want anymore, I try to make a conscious effort to take that title off of my pull list.
And even then, with the way FOCs work and ordering works, you got to take that title off your list maybe 2 months ahead, you know what I mean, so that an order can be adjusted perfectly. I also want to shout out to some of our customers who are so on top of that shit. They buy the previews books, they look up stuff online, and they know exactly what it means to pre-order something on time and also when to cancel. We have people that'll say, take this off, I hate this book, I'm done with it, take it off my list, I'll still get the next ones you already have, post FOC, but then after that, don't order anymore. And that's
but I'll be honest, and the only reason I'm saying this because I was one of the people that did that back in the day, where if my pull list was heavy and maybe that month was a little tight, sometimes I put a couple books back. Now I would let the shop know. I'd be like, hey, is it okay if I put these back? I don't want to get and. Listen, I was never told that, no, you can't do it. Now, was that because maybe I was spending a lot of money on that shop, at a regular basis? Everything's different with every customer. I get that. So,
and sure, including every book you put back. Sometimes I'm happy to get a book back.
Yes,
this
great
book
point.
Now is super hot. I can actually mark it up now.
Great point.
Versus we had people that walked out and left us $400, $500 worth of pulled books that we already had stacks of on the rack. That was just one more that's never going to get sold.
Yeah.
So it's a relationship. You know what I mean? Both sides have their responsibilities. And also one thing I forgot to mention is one of the incentives is not just the discount or free bags and boards. It's telling people you will never miss a book. And that's,
so
I think,
Darth Lopez.
a big driver of subscriptions is not missing out on title.
Yeah. Darth Lopez, thank you, brother. Much love to you. A big community member over here. Been rocking with us for a long time. He dropped $4.99 in the super chat, said, let me share the love since I found over $300 in books for $1 to $3. Listen, if you guys don't remember and weren't following Darth Lopez, there was a time where he was going to shops and pulling every major Star Wars book that was out there for like dollars, like, pennies on the dollar. Just killing it. So much love to Darth Lopez. Thank you.
Oh, I actually, looking on his Instagram, I actually start getting jealous.
You just did again. Yeah, he put out some of the legacy books. If you guys didn't follow him today, he's sending out some of the Star Wars legacy books. So over at Half Price Books, right, Darth? Half Price is where you're at. So,
which reminds me, if you guys, there's another character that's in our community that we want to show some love to. Half Price Crook. Speaking of Half Price Books, Half Price Crook is a absolute stud. And go follow him on IG too. Why isn't my... There we go.
Brian's gone blurry.
Yeah. Much love to him. He's one of those guys. Here's the only problem with Half Price Books. Man, they don't really sell comics out here in AZ. We got 3 of them, and they don't sell comics.
Yeah, it's like it's not here in AZ. It's not the place to go.
Yeah,
like that's what I see that all the time. Is hey, Half Price Books, and like Brian and I would go and stuff, and it would just be like,
yeah.
It would be a total disappointment.
But
so his Bookmans are Zia's.
Amen. Don't give away all the honey holes, bro. Come on. Leave that cornbread ain't free all the time.
Well, I think now's a good time to transition over. Does anybody have any pickups? We got 111 people in the chat right now. I think this would be a good time for us to show off our. Nope, everybody just left. Never mind. No.
Yeah.
It'd be. We want to show off our. We can keep talking about local comic book stores. Everyone seems to like that.
Yeah, Jesse giving away the free cornbread too. Come on, man. Come on.
Oh.
Stop that.
You just gotta hustle harder.
Oh, I love that book, Ish. I love that book.
It's got a skull on it. That's why.
That's dope. Not bad.
We had it. We had actually Weird War in our 40% off section. And the other day I noticed this was the last one. And so Bill was like, you know what, just take it. And that just and I took the divider out, and hopefully we'll get some more Weird Wars back in the door. But yeah, I thought this one was really cool.
That's cool.
Hey, Vin, we'll hit you up, man. We appreciate you.
Do a sponsored giveaway.
Hey, I love shouting out comic book stores. Everybody should be hitting up their local comic book stores.
I've still been going to my local LCS since I was 15 years old. I go to the same. It's moved in the thing, but I've gone to the same store ever since, and we don't get discounts there or nothing. It's crazy, but they now have 4 stores. Nate, 1, 2, some. There's somebody else from Michigan that said up past Lansing it stinks, but down here by me, there's one LCS that kind of like Jesse said, they knew their margins, and then when everybody's going out of business, it's either Big Ben's, who's got one. I mean, Big Ben's is great. Then we got Comic City. If you're looking for new books, that's where I grew up, was in that one, and they got 4. They're opening their 4th store now. And then after that, it's a mismatch of going wherever you can. Down in Jackson,
I think, come on, you got Ace Hardware.
Yeah, there was the Ace Hardware.
Not forget about Ace Hardware.
There's an Ace Hardware that sells some comics. The Collector's Zone in Jackson. Actually, that's the guy that does the $5 books in the areas throughout Ohio and everything like that. But I see him at cons all the time too, which is awesome because he's got great stuff. If you want some back issues, but between Ben's and Comic City, we got it made. We really do.
Today, like I was saying, shout out to Hartman. He's been chatting with me a lot on Instagram, and we were talking last night. He got me fired up. I went to 3 comic book stores today to go digging.
That's cool.
I went out to, I went to.
Did you go to Ish's store? What's the name of Ish's store again?
Fantastic World Comics.
Say it again now.
Fantastic Worlds Comics.
Cool. Because somebody's asking like 2 times and didn't hear the answer. So. All right, that's cool.
I went to.
What'd you get?
I went to. I started my day. I drove all the way out, which is across the valley. But I went out to. I was
shocked when he asked me, "Hey, I'm at your store." I'm like, "What?"
I went to Monster Comics because I went to. So shout out to Collector's Choice Comics. It's my buddy Kevin. He has they do a lot of not giveaways. God damn it, they do giveaways, but they do have a lot of their own covers, exclusives, and everything.
Kyle, when'd you go to Jesse's store, bro?
He wasn't there. I was talking to Brian. I pulled into the parking lot, and I was like, "Shit, I don't see Jesse's car." So you must have been at Sizzler, buddy. I'm sorry. I did go there. I got some money burning in my pocket. I was like, you know what? I had already gone to Monster Comics. I had already gone to Fantastic World Comics. Jesse wasn't there. And then I went to Dronda Comics and I picked up tomorrow. I'll come tomorrow. So I hope you're there tomorrow. But I thought about it on the way. I was like, shit, I should have videotaped it, but I went comic book hunting. And
shout out to Monster Comics. You mentioned Kevin over there, and also Todd, the owner, really real stand-up guy.
Yeah, Kevin, he's my CBCS guy.
He's like the Valley's CBCS guy, right?
What's that?
He's like the Valley's CBCS guy for all of Phoenix.
Fucking Jesse.
What do you got?
Perfect.
Show us what you got.
So Kevin, the first time I ever decided to get a book graded was through Kevin. He was the one who gently took me through the process. But with
okay, now you're talking about Jesse's mom in the back room and somebody gently taking you through a process. What is going on today, dude?
I had a good day.
Apparently.
So he had a Kevin Collector's Choice Comics. He had an auction Wednesday or Thursday night. So I picked this up from him. Actually, let me turn off my fucking thing real quick. Sorry, guys.
Nash, I think me and JJ both ordered through them before. They did a pretty good job.
Yeah, so I had picked up this. I love this cover.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
It's a great fucking. It's a Batman Adventures Continues 3. I just thought that was a beautiful cover. And then I picked up this haha variant. It's the Breakfast Club homage. Don't you forget about me. Don't you? Hey. So I just thought that was I just think that's awesome. And then while I was there, he I'll tell you right now, Kevin's he's a good salesman. He really upsold me. He told me, hey man, if you want to buy a slab, I'm going to give you X% off of it. So I ended up picking up this Miles book. It's Miles Morales Spider-Man 23. It's the Comic Kingdoms of Canada variant. Canada. I know it's Canada. Well, it's this way.
It's still close, so it can be Canadian version now too. Whatever you want to call it.
But I thought that was badass. I just think that's a dope ass cover.
It is.
And it's a connecting cover because you know how we all love connecting covers. It connects with this. It's Tyler Kirkham. It's this spider. It's Amazing Spider-Man 59. So when you actually connect them together, let me do it this way because I'm a fucking moron. If you connect them together, you see the eyes in the back.
Oh yeah, dude, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty freaking awesome.
That's dope.
So I got those pickups.
Rope is a rope.
And then I got this in the mail today. I ordered this I actually forgot I had ordered this. I didn't think it was coming, so I actually gave up on it. I ordered it a month ago. But it was the Stray Dogs Evil Dead cover. So this was one I tried to order through my local comic book store, and they wouldn't order it for me, so I had to go on eBay and get it.
Shout out to Ronnie Strike, $20 super chat. He says, thank you for the heads up on the Banksy Department of Truth variant, Brian. I have shifted to collecting low prints and limited exclusives. How can you verify or know the print runs? Much love for what you do, guys. That's a great question and a big, big topic, especially in comics and speculation in comics right now. The trying to figure out print runs is really hard to do on certain books. Other books, it's very easy. Other books, you just have to take the word of the retailer that's selling it. So it can be tough. That's definitely a problem, Ronnie. And it's something that us as a community also need to hold retailers and publishers firm on, saying, hey, this is a big deal. When you tell us that this is the print run, that better be the freaking print run.
No damage return crap. None of that bullshit.
Yep.
No
if this is the print run,
overflow.
We better not see it, 100 other if it's a 100 copy book, I better not see it, another 100 copies chilling somewhere.
That's something we're going to talk about on Sunday's show too on Dark Side, Pete, because it's gotten to Pete from over there from Renovision. Is they're doing negative space stuff and stuff like that. So hey, watch tomorrow, 9:00, 9:05 really. Hey, nice, good pickup.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Well, one way for me to gauge a print run is, if it's the second day after its release and it's no longer available on Diamond, then I know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we'll see there's a second print coming and a third, and then we'll see how quick those go from available to no longer available. And you can kind of gauge it that way.
You know what I thought was another cool cover this week was this.
Yeah, that is
the new
dope.
Spawn cover.
He homaged himself.
Yeah.
He's good at doing that. Him and Liefeld, Jim Lee.
At least he doesn't write after me.
I think he has done that on a couple covers. So
I know Liefeld has, but
yeah. Hey man, if I was that good of an artist and I put out some fucking iconic covers, I'd be saying after me all day, every day. I'd be living that shit up, man.
And then I already showed you all the Something to Kill in Children's and stuff that I got. But those are my pickups for today.
I don't know how much longer, especially after them in the last couple of weeks not being able to get their shipments out to comic book stores. I mean, that, you're coming up on a month when Penguin starts taking over. You should probably get those books out there if you want to keep any clients. But
I will say this. I agree with you on that, Marco. It's kind of it's bollocks, as they say over across the pond. Mm-hmm. But here's the other thing. We know that the people that run Diamond, that own Diamond, are great businessmen, been in comics a long time. I'm sure they're going to pivot. When you talk to people in this industry, they say that, they've known the Jeppies for a long time and all that stuff. They're going to be pivoting. There's no way that a business that big and something can't.
No, yeah, sure. It's dumbfounding, man. I don't understand it.
Does he got NBA title rings on his fingers as well?
No, it says love and hate, like from Do the Right Thing. I love stuff like this. Movie director pops. I'm a sucker for these kinds of collectibles.
Yeah, I hear what they're saying. I mean, I get it. Whatever. We'll see.
Whatever.
Nice. We got that.
You guys and your Funko Pops, especially your Star Trek Funko Pops.
Oh man!
I know who that even was.
AC Khan and Mirror Sulu.
No clue who that is.
Extra dope.
Just what we need. That's good stuff.
And then I got two more here.
Oh, the G.I. Joe Pops.
No, that's cool.
Got a nice little run of those.
Yeah, maybe figures.
Nice.
So was Sears.
Oh, I got one more pickup.
Okay.
Full screen me. This is a nice one.
Full screen me.
Oh, he wants full screen. He wants full.
Someone wants a lot of attention.
I don't know. I love this Marvel girl.
What's the Build-A-Figure that it comes with? Is that Onslaught?
It is the Tri-Sentinel.
Oh, okay.
And this
Hey,
is
Jamie.
and
Jamie.
you can see on the bottom, this is based on the Hickman run because it's got the weird Hickman language.
Yeah.
Actually, even says House of X on the side. So these are we got these about 2 years late, which is typical for Diamond and this type of stuff. But I set this one aside for myself because it's very cool.
Jeez, oh, Pete's. All right.
See, JJ
Chat's out of
Maxwell's
hand.
right. Every household needs a Spike Lee pop.
Jamie, it's good to see you too. Thanks for showing up. Sticks, thank you. And send me the pics. We got that. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Make sure if you guys like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. It helps out was it helping in the algorithm? The something or another?
What the fuck is an algorithm?
We broke the algorithm. We don't care about no stinking algorithm around here.
Hey, Sean. King Shark. I won't be building the King Shark. All right. I do have a couple. If we got time, I don't know. We
always have time for Marco.
We always do.
He never has time for us, though.
That's what the problem is.
Look, I do.
I got 2 other shows. I'm on Red.
That's not true. That's not true.
didn't
I
know
said I was
about
away
it.
for cons
I'm
for a
on
week. This is all I get.
Reddit.
What? They tell me you're suspended from that show and you're not allowed on MCM anymore. Like, no, I'm just out of town. I'm out of town. Oh,
I'm on
did you see?
Reddit.
Brian just gave me the speed up side too. So I've been collecting first White Ranger, but I've been collecting some of the original Power Rangers. Okay, we're hurrying up here. We're hurrying up.
No, hey.
No, that
Slow
wasn't
down.
me giving the speed up sign. No,
Slow
no.
down, fucker.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay.
So go
Oh,
back,
great.
show off the Power Ranger stuff.
So
Okay.
this is out of the second series. This is out of the first.
We can't see what you're looking at.
Yeah, I know. White Power Ranger. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So I picked up some more of the run. I already put one to the presser, because it's been a week since I've been at the con. But I got one. These were all out of the dollar bins. I think 50 cents for some of these, to be honest with you, because I think we kind of bundled some stuff together. But that's a good one. First series.
You sent some books off to EGS. They should be getting close to coming back.
They should. I will come back on 100% number 2 out of it. I should be getting some back when I don't know. It should be in a week or so. I was hoping. I kind of was avoiding EGS because I didn't want your guys to show on it, even though I had some questions. So maybe we can bring it back out. I do still have those grading notes on that, so hopefully it comes back pretty good. Okay,
I can't wait to compare them.
Yeah. So the con that I was at, I already on Renovision on Wednesdays. Me and a guy named Pete do a little show. So make sure you check it out. And we're almost at 1,000 subs over there. So if you guys could sub over there, it'd be great too. That's Renovision, RENNAVISION. Either way, we showed off some of the polls from there. Some other stuff. We're going to do a second round, box number 2. But I also have some loose stuff that we got. These were all the $2 bins. Sorry. I should hold it like, haven't been holding books in a while. The Black Flash, that was in the $2 bins. Oh, got one of these in the $2 bins. 13. Got a little second printy. Yeah. I know. I know that's not going to happen again. Look at what I pulled out too. The $2 bin. Yeah, I know.
Wait, go back. Oh, wait. You got that out of $2 bin?
Yeah. This is what I'm telling you. There's crazy stuff in this $2 bin stuff, man. 700.
After
the Doc Ock
McFarlane?
one. Yeah.
How much was that book?
$2.
You got that for $2? That's a nice. I mean,
not one of those. Not one of those. I took 3. The other guy I was digging with took 5. There's that many of them there. This con was just absolutely crazy. 50 centers. Like I said, we picked up some of the McFarlane stuff out there. Some of the other McFarlane Spider Runs, the Ghost Rider. I already showed this on Renovision, but some of the torrent covers.
Nobody watches that, so it's all new to everybody.
I know it's new to a lot of people. But on the Star Wars show, we're gonna do a big haul of Star Wars stuff that I got, including I picked up for under $10. They're listed at 10, but comic packs. I'm going to show you a couple of those that we picked up, and there's some special things that we picked up out of the Star Wars thing at that con. We show it on the Star Wars show tomorrow at 9:05. We're going to do that. We're going to have obviously Brian's 2 favorite people in Star Wars. Jedi Johnson is going to give us a little coverage, and JJ Maxwell, 2 of the smartest people in comics, man, and in Star Wars in general, especially if they're talking about pops or well, they're all angry this week, so we'll see what it is. I know, Joe. I know. Little deja vu. It's okay. I pulled some of the stuff out. I did get this too. This was kind of cool. I got this. This was the whole for $30 at that con too. This is
nice.
The number 1. It's
That's
the
a nice
whole
pickup.
set. The whole set in there. So that was kind of dope, especially to find it as a whole set. I'm telling you, it was a real dope con. It was really good.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was saying when I was in Fantastic Worlds today and I was talking to Bill, he was asking me about you know those you had pulled up some toys and stuff. You know those starting lineup toys?
Yeah.
He said he had a guy come in with a bunch of those that was talking to him about it. What as toys and those are throwback toys. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying bye to Nosh, Big Nosh. Go ahead.
Oh, no, later. Are those making a comeback? Is that something that's desired with people now? Is that something that's, or is it just one of those things that was? It's not.
No, I guess it is. I know Stick Boy is having a whatnot sale on those coming up, so make sure you're following him. Brian, you know those the sports figures he's talking about?
No, sports Star Wars figures?
No. The
Are you talking about the McFarlane ones?
no, Kyle.
The starting lineup.
Starting lineups
What about them?
that they're back in popularity. He's asking why.
Some of them are selling, but they're not as popular as they used to be. Some of the rare ones are hard to find, like the 88 and 89 figures, especially in basketball and football. I know the 88 football and the 88 basketball figures are hard to find. They were short. They call it short printed, depending on the area of the country you're in. Like, so for example, us out here in the Southwest, when we went into our Toys R Us or our Lionel Play World or something like that, we walked in and all you saw was Dallas Cowboys. That's all you saw. Like, I still have my Tony Dorsett, my Danny White figures unopened. And then if you lived in another area, you know, if you lived in Pennsylvania, you only saw, you know, the Eagles and Steelers players probably, you know what I mean? So it was short printed depending on, like, certain areas did not get certain teams. So that gives the rarity on some of those early ones. But the later ones, they used to sell for a lot back in the day, especially like rookie figures. But I mean, the Jordan sells for like 150 to anywhere from 150 to 200 unopened.
So it actually just depends.
Yeah. Who would care like anything else?
So that's
But
something
let me
could
tell you
Bill.
why. Let me tell you, you want to know why that they're selling for a lot, in my opinion? Not because of the figures, because of the cards. People take that 88 Jordan starting lineup card and get it graded, and it sells for a shit ton because it was hard.
Magic was doing that too, right?
I mean, yeah, but not the cards. Like, the only cards that really sell for a lot are like the Jordan. That's really the only one, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, Bo Jackson sell for a little bit. The 88 ones, because those was he in 88 set? I don't think he was in the 88 set, but he might have been.
We had both Magic and Jordan out here because the Detroit rivalry with MJ, and then Magic went to Michigan State, so we got a lot of those out this way, which is nice. Anyways,
yeah,
that's cool. Thank you for filling us in on that, Brian. Good knowledge. There you go. I knew he was the man for the job.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got next?
I knew he was the person to ask.
You gonna show that, Brian? Are you gonna show that pickup? Whoever got that one?
Oh, the this craziness. Yeah, I showed this on Drunken Chat last night when I saw it. I was going through stuff for the market report for Monday's show, and I had just missed this. We had all just missed it, and I felt even more of an idiot. But this is the type of fun stuff you can find on third market, second market places if you're paying attention. So get lucky and get a 1984 Marvel Star Wars Return of the Jedi Volume 1 set in limited series with 2 Clone Wars #1.
That's crazy.
Let me see.
I'm sure the person who won that saw that depiction was like, I just fucking scored.
Yeah, they did. If they get it,
is that the newsstand version? No, it's not. I don't see the price. It says Star Wars something on it. Chat will have to let us know. Star Wars
score. Yeah, it's score.
I don't know what it says on that Star Wars universe. That's what it says. Star Wars universe. So there you go. Crazy stuff. All right. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about tonight was this.
Oh shit! Completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So Superman, Son of Kal-El, #1
behind you,
came out. People haven't really been talking much about the series, and then Kyle read it and said it was freaking awesome. It sounds like.
I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Well,
I thought I'm trying to figure out about how old is John and Damien supposed to be? Are they supposed to be about 20 years old?
so it says here, DC's new Superman, Jonathan Kent, steps into his father's shoes on July 13th with Superman, Son of Kal-El, #1, written by Tom Taylor with art by John Timms. The new ongoing book series, Superman, Son of Kal-El, replaces the long-running Superman title. Now that DC calls the one that DC calls the main Superman title in its line of Superman titles. What? That doesn't make any sense. Jonathan Kent has experienced a lot in his young life. He traveled the galaxy with his Kryptonian grandfather and lived in the future with the Legion of Superheroes, who were intent on training him for the day his father, Clark Kent, could no longer be Superman. Reads DC's description of Superman 1, Son of Kal-El. There is a hole in the Legion's history that prevents John from knowing exactly when that will happen, but all signs point to it being very soon. That very soon is July 13th with Superman, Son of Kal-El, #1. Here's a preview. So there you go. Interesting stuff. Very interesting. And did you say you saw Damien in it? You read it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read it. You read it too as well, right, Marco?
Yeah. I read it because Ish said, "Hey, you guys want to talk about this?" I said, "It's Superman, and he sucks, but sure, I'll read this book." And it was actually pretty good. It actually didn't suck.
It was
I mean,
good.
this is a big change status quo for Superman.
Was it? What was the change in it?
Well, that it's no longer Clark Kent.
Thank you, Haven.
Oh,
have a good night.
Literally, Clark Kent is gone. Jonathan Kent is the new, not even de facto, is the new Superman. So even though it's Superman, Son of Kal-El, this replaces what was the main Superman title.
Yeah.
That would be like, and when it happens, when Batman main title phases out Bruce Wayne and replaces him with Jace Fox. That's kind of what they're pointing at. So they're getting rid of Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, though Clark Kent is still in Action Comics for now.
Yeah, so it's just Super Sons with the son finally taking over for his dad because none of us saw that coming. That's what's.
I like it because they're older.
I actually I like the actual way it went down. The book was pretty dope, like how it actually happened.
Damien's a really popular character now, so I feel like he's in there to kind of just boost the profile of the book.
I honestly, it's
they know the Damien fans will want to check it out too.
It's going to be one of those things now. I think they've made it where with John you get Damien.
Yeah.
I think it's just what they're best friends. They're like the Super Sons have set it up to where they were friends. It was for John, it was a cool thing. For Damien, it was like a love-hate kind of thing. Like what I mean?
Rivals,
and I think where it's I would like to see once in a while some backstory about them growing as best friends, because this story is they're older.
Well, that's the previous 70 issues of Superman, is what you just asked.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it's like the 45 issues of the Tomasi run, which really focused on bringing Jonathan Kent into the forefront. And I thought they did a tremendous job. And then they switched to Bendis. A lot of people got upset that Bendis aged Jonathan like from, I think, 9 or 10 to like 16. And then the Bendis run was 32 issues. And a lot of that had a lot of Damien in it. So this has kind of been building the previous 2 volumes.
I just like once it gets here, like they are best friends and they state that they're best friends. I think the guy that writes Nightwing is writing this. Tom Taylor.
Nightwing is definitely a very popular book right now.
I think it was a smart move having him write this. But I mean, who did you say this ended up being, Marco? So what it is in this book, it starts out where it shows John being born. Batman and Superman have like a moment. But this is actually what it is it's shown where he's kind of in action. He's older. He's whatever age he is, and it's it's shown, the forest on fire. What it is this dude tripping out, and his power. That's his power. Is it his anxiety? His whatever is. It makes it explode with fire. But and it goes back to them talking, and what I like right here is.
Well, he tries to save the kid, and the government comes up and knocks him out, and then Superman, or not whatever, the new Superman, then like hands the kid over, and Damien's like, "Yeah, did you actually save the guy? Because you handed him over to the government. What do you think they're going to do to him?" And I think they're just adding, I think they're going to add him into the new superhero squad or Suicide Squad, but still,
I figure we're going to get. I'm hoping we get a little bit more backstory on that.
I think it is because at the end of this book. They had like a checklist type thing of like questions to be answered. And one of them was that, what's her name? The lady that runs the Suicide Squad was picking up these characters. So I figure that's probably what that was, a foreshadowing.
I like this, that John's trying to have a conversation with Damien, but he's actually in the middle of like a fight. So he just jumps in to try to end it real quick. And I like right here, like where these ninjas are like, this hardly seems like a fair fight.
You're a ninja. You should be talking.
And he just, he's just taking care of it real quick, and I just found it funny.
Yeah, that's good.
And I like that Damien is kind of like, John is always kind of this positive guy, and I like that Damien is like the voice of reason to John. In this, like in what they're doing is they're actually talking about what happened. He's like, what do you want this to stand for? And and John's like, I want to stand for truth, justice, and a better world. And he's like, good, like I like that. I like that Damien is kind of like his voice of reason, like his down to earthness, where Jonathan has this different positive attitude.
What I like most about this book is sometimes DC puts words on a page just to put words on the page and fill up bubbles. This wasn't it. The back and forth was really good between these two. Unexpectedly, like there was parts like when he's talking to the ninja, he says, "Aren't you supposed to be silent? Isn't that how ninjas are supposed to work? Why are you talking?" like when I whip your butt, I don't want you interrupted the like conversation I'm having with my friend here. It was funny. Like they did a really good job. Putting the panels together, the colors popped. Obviously, the book was it wasn't like your typical DC read, especially as of late. Well, as of whenever, man, they're really tough to read.
They look like they're like in their late teens, early 20s.
That's what I was getting.
20s,
I was
20s,
like anywhere from like 19 to 22 is where I was thinking, or like 18 to 22.
Probably in their 22s.
Like I hope we see them at the bar. Like I hope they're like 21 and they go and have like a drink to wind down or something, and they're, you know what I mean.
I didn't think reading it, JJ. I didn't think that Damien was a killjoy. I think he was kind of like, "Come on, dude! Like, why are you even asking me these questions? Like, you know how you have a conversation with your friend, and you're going in there, and your friend comes up and goes, "What do you think about that chick?" And you're like, "Dude, no way. I mean, I know it's dark in here.
That's what I told it.
That ain't it. That ain't it, bro. That ain't it. That's what Damien's doing in here. He's just trying to talk his friend.
And he's
like,
always
you already
been
know
like
the
that.
answer. Huh?
He's always been like that.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
That's how I got it. Like he's the voice of reason. Like, John's kind of up here with this positiveness and looking at it different. And I think Damien's there like, listen, dude, come back to reality a little bit. This is how it,
It ain't a strobe light hoe, dude.
I
Let's
feel
go.
like this is mine and Nico's relationship right here. Like Nico's tells me all these great ideas, and I have to go.
I think this is everybody in Nico's
shitty,
relationship,
bro. I'm like, and he's always like, man, why are you always fucking telling me my stuff's shitty? I hate fucking talking to you. I'm like, Do
you want to sit on the couch? Are we gonna talk about it? I was telling strobe light hoe jokes, and you came up with this real serious stuff. I don't know, dude.
What are you talking about? Anyways, serious? Get the fuck out of here. Nothing on this show is serious.
Go next panel. It was good. It was good though. I mean, they did a great job with it.
I'm not a huge soup. I've never been a huge soup guy.
It ain't saving DC, by the way, Ish. This ain't saving DC.
That was going to be my question: Is this what DC needs? Do they need to get rid of Clark Kent?
It does.
Do they need
100%? This is what they need. It has nothing to do with Superman. It has to deal with how the writing was, how the play of the two characters were, how they could relate. Like we just all said something. You know, Brian was joking around with it.
I think this is another poll. Is this going to be the savior of DC?
It's not going to be the savior of DC, but if they could start going to this style, I think more people would read it. At least more people that are watching this show and more people that are like us and you McFarlane fans down there. I mean, it's actually done pretty well and enjoyable.
I'd say it was our best-selling book of the week because it sold out instantly.
I like his fucked up cape. He doesn't have a perfect cape.
I like when he walks up to Damian and he's like, "Dude, you look like you've been getting your ass kicked." It's just like, shut the fuck up. I mean, it was a good back and forth. It really was a great back and forth. And like I said, like sometimes they try to put too much on a page, and they didn't do it here. They by 2030 we'll find out who Red X is. I think they're just gonna scrub all that, right? Like they're just gonna get rid of all that.
I
just start this over. I think they knew they screwed up and gave up on all that. Which
they fucked up when Red X wasn't Damian. They really missed the boat on that shit so hardcore.
Yeah, sometimes when you shit the bed, you just got to burn the sheets, bro. And that's what they had to do with all that stuff. I mean, at the end of the day. So, but this isn't like that.
No, it's there's a bunch of ninjas above that alley.
He's like,
yeah, I'm in the middle of a tournament.
He's like, I'm about to kick their ass. Of course, dummy. I know they're there. What are you talking about? No, it was really good, man. And like I said, like the colors, we've seen this a lot in comics too, like where they start half drawing panels. Like they won't draw their faces in anymore. I don't care who the artist is. Like they don't finish it off. Yes. The penciler's getting lazy. The the colorists are getting lazy too. They're not finishing stuff off. This book was beautiful from front to go, man. It really was. It was a great book. And if you're going to continue this on from first, then you might actually have something where like the Brian McClays of the world and the Treys get back to talking about DC regularly and get excited about it. Because this is a book they should be getting excited about. This is the way to do it.
This is a Superman title that I'm putting back. I'm putting on my pull list.
Get the fuck out of here.
Josh, like, no.
Yeah, no. Absolutely, Josh, no. Get out of here with that, Mojo. Mojo, I love you, man, but that's no, absolutely not. No, they need to just end that and burn it. So yeah, it's just good, man. I know you sold them instead of reading them, but you should order some more.
Same with actually another title that came out last week, Superman and the Authority. I didn't know what to expect out of that, and that one sold very well too.
Well, speaking of Superman, yeah, you're 100% right. And there was a lot of news on Superman. Speaking of Tom Taylor and Superman, this is getting a lot of love right now, or news, or people talking about it. This was July 23rd on Tom Taylor's Twitter. He tweeted out, "Huge, created by me and Nicholas Scott art, Val Zod, the Superman on Earth 2 could soon soar on screens with Michael B. Jordan." And a lot of people are talking about this with Michael B. Jordan taking over the Val Zod. Is he going to play Val Zod? Nobody knows that for sure. It's still a rumor, but his production company is going to be doing a show about it, which is very interesting, and we're going to see what happens with that. But a lot of
don't make it boring. Don't fucking make it boring.
I'll be honest. BB666, thank you, much love.
Yes. Thank you very much.
It said a lot. I think a lot of people feel the same way. Like you said, just don't make it boring. If they're gonna change the status quo so much, the story has to be fire. You can't change the status quo and have a shit story. It's gonna tank. So I got respect for Michael B. Jordan if he said, "Listen, I don't want to play Clark Kent." And because that's where the rumor is that they are not only going to do a Val Zod series, but they want to do a Black Clark Kent. And Michael B. Jordan, the rumor is that he said, "I don't want to play Clark Kent. I want to do it differently." And the Earth 2 storyline, I mean, it seems like a better way to play it. You don't have to do all that bullshit where you're changing the status quo. You got basically a newer character, and not a bad character. I know a lot of people love that series, that Earth 2 series. So we'll see what happens with that. But Tom Taylor, man, a lot of people talking Tom Taylor right now. Very cool stuff.
He's killing it with Nightwing, and I think we're gonna find out that he's gonna kill it with this new Superman run. I think it's just, it's enough that I am gonna put a Superman run on my pull list.
Yeah, this is a great question. Mojo Quid says, "So Black Clark Kent, is Calvin Ellis a joke to them?" That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. You got all these great stories about Black Superman that aren't Clark Kent or necessarily are Clark Kent, right? They're a Clark Kent from a different timeline that they could play off of so much better, and you don't piss people off. You don't piss people off who have been reading that character for, almost 100 years now or 50 years now or whatever. Yeah, it's very interesting. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I would like him to do something new.
Well, Michael B. Jordan developing his own Black Superman project with HBO Max. So very interesting stuff,
Good.
man. A lot of people talking about it. Yeah, so do I. I hope he does
Just
too.
make something good, man.
Yep.
Just make something good. I don't give a crap. Make it good.
Yep. Yeah, on HBO and one to HBO and one to the theaters. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go. Speaking of theaters.
Speaking of
theaters.
And there's that break. Okay, good stuff.
That was a good transition, Brian.
Perfect. The transition.
I just wanted to fuck with you guys. Speaking of theaters, you guys want to talk a little bit about the ScarJo stuff, about her suing Disney for breach of contract? I don't want to get too much into it, but I figured we'd hit on that real quick.
I didn't think as much as breach of contract as it was Disney being like, they just didn't include her getting profits of that from, the Disney Plus stuff. Because I think
it begs the question: what is the expected? Whatever the amount she's suing for. Now we're just rolling the dice, saying, well, the movie, if it had just been a theatrical release, it would have, the projection. That's the word they used. The projected box office grosses. That's kind of
flimsy.
The movie could have tanked. It could have also been $1 billion hit. It could have been
Yeah, there's going to be a problem though. There's going to be a problem with that because when you start seeing the numbers that come out from some of these other movies that have been coming out, they are abysmal. And for you, all they have to do is say like, she wouldn't even have gotten the VOD stuff if we didn't put it on VOD.
Well,
we're lucky got VOD numbers.
And they wrote like a lot of people were saying, I'm sure this contract was written 10 years ago, right? Because they had been saying that the Black Widow was going to be the first standalone movie of any character. They've been saying that for like 8 years, it feels like. This movie was supposed to come out a year ago. It was supposed to be the first movie out of all this stuff we were seeing. It was supposed to be our first time we saw Val, Contessa, whatever. It was supposed to be so much more. And man, she got screwed. A lot of people on that project got screwed. I imagine.
Raid, like how would she know? Like you're not gonna you all predicted what was gonna happen in the last 2 years because if you did, good on you. But I'm
sure in normal circumstances it would have made a lot more money than it is making right now, but I don't know if it would have made the usual Marvel numbers though, because
here's what her lawsuit's about. It says in her lawsuit filed on Thursday in Los Angeles Superior Court, Johansson claims that the day and date release of Marvel's Black Widow on Disney Plus and in theaters was a breach of her contract. The lawsuit contends that Disney Plus released siphoned potential theater goers, costing her potential competition tied to the movie's theatrical revenue. Disney's reference to COVID-19 referred to what the company has said has been a motivating factor for the day and date release, given the limitations on theatrical moviegoing because of the pandemic. And some would say that's just an excuse, but there's a lot of stuff to be talking about on this and how it's going to change in the future for how actors get paid because things are changing.
I think that's all it is. I think she wants to make money she feels she's entitled to, and that's her right. And that wasn't part of the contract back then because who would have thought it would have happened? But if you see going forward how it is, VOD money is going to be there. If you like it or not, it's going to be there. And some of these long-term contracts don't look so good for the actors. Should they be paid? I'm always for paying workers. So like I pay my employees fair. I hope she gets paid fair too. I know it stinks, but at the end of the day,
$20 million.
I'm waiting for the flip side to pay me fair.
We're talking multiply 20, 40, 50, 60.
Hey, you never take money out of somebody else's pocket, bro.
Never fuck with somebody's money.
Yeah, you don't take.
I do think it's ironic that she spent a year telling people to stay home, and when they did, now she's like, "Fuck, I didn't get paid."
Great point. I like that point. I will say great point.
Hey, look, whatever it is at the end of the day, she did the work. She wants to go for this. Go ahead. It's cool because even if she doesn't win on this one, it's going to be part of contracts from now on, which means that we'll have a stronger VOD and hopefully a more concise and stronger box office too, right? We'll get a better product out there.
The
Do you guys remember the first movie? Sorry. I was going to say the first movie and the first actor to make it big on the box office percentage. That was back in 1989 when they picked
Michael Keaton,
a B movie director to make Batman, and Jack Nicholson signed this. At the time, they thought he was insane, and I think he ended up making like $95 million.
Didn't the Three Stooges
he
really like that as
points
well?
on it, right? He took the points on the back end.
He was the first. He was the first
to
to do
points,
real big points, and forego salary. For the points.
I mean, how points work though? Like you're giving. That's kind of like a hey, I'm going to work for you, and then when it comes in I'm going to get paid on the back end, so you're helping it out.
And he's going to push. He's going to push to guarantee that this movie is high quality.
Yeah, but Taylor Harris,
because he knows he's got the investment in it.
I mean, we don't have Nico here, the Nico Esquire, the lawyer to the stars, but a contract is a contract. And if Disney wants to push out that they are getting domestic box office and link that with VOD money, which is how they have been reporting it, then you need to pay that out as domestic box office. If you as a business is calling that domestic box office, which they did, they considered the VOD money as domestic box office and then took it off the table when they're paying her. Pay her money, dude. Pay her money.
Daniel Craig in the last James Bond movie, because he had points, his contract was points. He made $75 million.
Yeah. Wasn't the? I know this. I don't know if
the one that Ben Affleck made a ton on.
Wasn't the Three Stooges one of the first sets of actors to be like, we want this back end stuff as well, and they took a lower pay, and everybody laughed at them until it actually profited for them.
You talk about the original OG Three Stooges?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted like stuff. Royalties,
Yeah,
yeah, royalties and points are a little bit, yeah.
Is it? I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's a couple of different things. No, yeah, the point system is kind of more like, hey, we know it'll cut the cost down on making the actual movie, but you're going to pay us off the back end
as long as the movie's a hit.
As long as the movie's a hit, yeah. I think Affleck did that a couple times. He did it with what's the one with Robin Williams in it, and These Apples or whatever.
Good Will Hunting.
Mm-hmm. And he did it again.
Yeah, he was a nobody. I guess he wrote the screenplay, so he was banking on himself.
Yeah.
How you like them apples?
How you like them apples?
I mean, isn't Gerard Butler right now suing for Olympus Has Fallen now?
Yeah, there's 3 actors that are suing now over the same thing.
If anyone.
Like, what made him decide? Like, I want to know what Gerard Butler went back to go say, decided to be like, I mean, when the fuck did Olympus Has Fallen come out? And now he's deciding 2016, right?
You read that fucking script and you thought, fuck, I'm going to bank on this fucking movie.
Right. And now it's this many years later. You're like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference. Look, I'm not for going in people's pockets, but if you make a wrong decision and you're like, now you need to pay me because I fucked up. No, I'm all out on you. But for this, it's a little bit different. VOD money. If they're going to, and if it was something completely different, I get that. What's going on? Oh, Michael, somebody's looking for you. You want a book, didn't he?
Michael Palmer, yes, he did.
Chad's Cave's looking for you.
Chad Cave, yep.
Hey, but my point is this. If you're going to go out there and you're going to pitch it as VOD money is opening box office domestic money, then you need to pay it like it is. There's no going around that. And I know it's going to be in contracts from now on that's going to happen, but good for her. She should get her money, man. Pay that man her money, or pay that female her money.
But how much are you going to pay her? You going to do this?
She's going to get points on it. Give her the fucking points. If she's got 1.3 points on it, give her 1.3 on the VOD. The VOD's $30 a thing. Give her 1.3 on each one. What was it? $42 million. So she's going to pull a bit off of that. You know what I mean?
She's going to get about 400. It's structured like that with the Disney Plus stuff. Other movies that are tanking right now that are going to go straight to streaming, they're not going to make an additional penny off anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's the whole basis of the point system is for that. If it hits, pay them their money, and it hit. And if you're going to consider it as domestic box office, which they did, pay her money.
Hey, Michael Palmer, you could do me a favor. You did win that book. I think he knows that he won it. So make sure you go and hit up CVM and 70 at CVMN70 on why am I not following him? On IG, and he'll hook you up with your book.
Sticks, could you put up Sticks comic? Because I would like to address this.
What do you mean?
So comics are fun. Stick Boy said, here, I got it. This is the problem with that. The contract, when she took the points, there was supposed to be a theatrical release, period. There wasn't supposed to be a VOD release. That was the agreement of the contract. Disney then broke that contract when they VOD'd it. They considered the VOD as domestic. If you consider it as domestic box office, that would be considered the theatrical release of it. You're supposed to get paid on that. Give her money.
Well, that's going to be up to a judge to decide.
Oh yeah, not up to me.
If that's a breach of contract or not, because like you said, they're adding an element.
They'll settle it out. They'll settle it out of court, and then people now will argue that into there, and she'll get probably like $400,000 off of it and call it a day, dude.
Is she going to walk away from Marvel now? You think she's
hell no? She ain't walking away from that shit. Come on, man.
She wants that Marvel money.
Yeah, you just said she made $20 million. Don't you want that $20 million, bro? I want that $20 million.
She wants to be paid like maybe one of the top 5 movie stars in the world for a movie that kind of bombed.
Yeah, because she's burnt. We don't need no poll to recognize that Scarlett Johansson is burnt.
She's burnt.
I don't give a fuck if she's burnt or not. Anyone in here, she walks up and goes, "Let's go in the bedroom." You're gonna be like,
"Oh." I don't think
you might want to do your research on that before you say yes.
McClay's going to be like, sorry.
I see what you look like. I see what I look like.
I don't care what you look like. I don't care what
you look like.
I don't care what you look like, but there's some holes you don't stick your dick in. So
Scarlett Johansson is one of them. Okay. You do.
Maybe not now. Maybe not now.
That doesn't mean she doesn't get paid her money. You still pay her money. Just that's the bottom line.
But she is burnt. She is burnt, though. We know that.
I don't know. I don't know any. I don't follow the tabloid, so I don't know.
Don't you know what people? I don't think people realize what burnt means, right?
I had to ask you a couple episodes ago.
I mean, she's cashed. She's done. Put her out like a cigarette.
I know. I don't think. I think she's okay.
I don't agree with that.
She's burnt.
She's burnt.
I don't think she is.
She ain't burnt, but she might be done.
Your wife thinks she's burnt. She's like,
my wife is not a big fan.
We can tell.
I get it. They're talking hypothetically, but there's certain things that, like giving. What is that statement about the gift that always gives?
Herpes.
Oh, Disney just cut his mic off. Muted him.
Herpes and Valtrex. Speaking of box office bombs, though. I'm a little dismayed at Snake Eyes being a fucking huge bomb. Like, to put it in context, Old was M. Night Shyamalan's lowest grossing wide release ever, and it still beat Snake Eyes.
Black Widow only needed to do 1 million more, and they would have in week 3 beaten Snake Eyes. That's fucking pathetic. Like, that's sad.
Even G.I. Joe Retaliation opened at like 45 million. And people crap all over that movie. But Snake Eyes opened at 13 million. Like, that's
Brian,
like
art
house
failed on us.
No, my sound isn't working for some reason.
So I don't know. I guess the Joe fans, maybe just based on word of mouth, hearing a lot of negative stuff, decided to not go, or maybe we're just still seeing people not going to the theaters, just in general, regardless of the movie, because Jungle Cruise bombed. Old bombed. Snake Eyes. We
all knew Jungle Cruise was gonna bomb.
With kids and families, that might be a kind of a big, normally a big summer movie. As dumb as it sounds. Snake Eyes probably didn't do better than Glitter.
It bombed. It did like 16 million, I think. Opening weekend, right?
13.
Snake Eyes did.
Man,
13.
88 million to make that movie, and it didn't even get a quarter of that. Shit.
Like dead on arrival. And you know what? And I mentioned this last episode. I'm a lifelong Joe fan. Toys, cartoons, comics. I still pull the comic to this day, written by Larry Hama, and I like the movie. I liked it a lot. So I don't know what the deal is, but
Somebody I saw
it's
made
the best G.I. Joe movie ever made, and I'm worried it might be the last one now.
Well, somebody made a great point that that I thought was excellent. Can't remember who said it, but they said, you know, when it comes to the origin of Snake Eyes, the origin movie, you have to have an actor that, you know, can talk and do all that stuff. And in the future, they don't have to have Henry Golden play that character.
When they do the team movies, they can totally mute him. They can get rid of Henry Golding. It's just a stuntman. That's movies away, you know. This was, like you said, this is the origin story. And I thought Henry Golding, like, to me, I'm sitting there like, this guy could be a good big movie star. He had a lot of on-screen charisma, really carried the movie. And now this could be also, his career could be just, you know.
I mean, do you think Trace's comment is right? The audience for G.I. Joe just isn't there anymore?
Well, this might lead into our next topic, which the comics, I feel, or the value in the comics is going up. Joe fans are there. And they might be so purist that they can't handle this new stuff.
No, it goes back to what, I forget what show I said it on. Joe fans, they're the people who would go watch that movie. This is what Joe fans want. They want, what was that show that they played on HBO that was about World War II? The
Band of Brothers. Yeah,
Band of Brothers.
That.
We want Band of Brothers directed and written by Quentin Tarantino. That's what we want for G.I. Joe. That's what we want. And if they did that, if they did hardcore Band of Brothers style Quentin Tarantino G.I. Joe, people would go crazy for it. People love it. Why don't you just write that? That's what they did with the Joker movie. They took a movie that said, okay, let's make a movie. And then they said, oh, that could be a Joker movie. Do the same thing with G.I. Joe. You know, take a hardcore, you know, World War II style drama pick.
Back in that time, I agree.
Yeah.
Put that back in that time,
Vietnam. Too, like, do it in Vietnam style. You do Vietnam style, Band of Brothers, Quentin Tarantino. Boom, game over. G.I. Joe fans would go crazy. Regular non-G.I. Joe fans would love it. You just can't be cheesy. It's got to be for adults, I think. And I think that they're too into the toy aspect because they make so much damn money off toys. Yeah.
But if they came out with the vintage, I mean, if they came out with like a legitimate vintage line, what's that?
That Joker movie was not a Joker movie. That was it was a regular, you know, independent crazy flick that they said, I bet you we could turn this into a Joker movie.
We're gonna do this what society does to a person, and we're gonna put Joker makeup on him.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like that was a new movie either, and that's what I think you're saying. Like the whole Joker movie was already a movie once before. They just redid it, and it was a great movie, and then they redid it and put Joker makeup on it. Same thing with the band. Just use that. We know Band of Brothers works. We know that, like, even like Pearl Harbor, the Affleck movie was like, do something that's realistic like that. Stop with all the technology, Michael Bay crap or whatever they're trying to do.
You just mentioned the Michael Bay movie. So you want a Michael Bay G.I. Joe?
No, I want Quentin Tarantino. I want what was that movie? Like Tank? I forget it was with Brad Pitt. What was that Tank movie?
I don't want a Tarantino movie. I
want that style.
That's David Ayers, the director of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, there we go. Like, give us like some gritty, and then throw deep like Easter egg cuts into it, like Tarantino style, where he talks about all the other characters. Like in the Tarantino world, all those characters are in part of the same world, right? And they've got really deep Easter eggs for fans. You could do that with G.I. Joe. You could start it off with only 6 characters and then, you know, let that story keep going over. And it should be a TV show, in my opinion. It shouldn't be a movie. It needs
you
to
want
be
them running through
series.
neighborhoods and picking up
like an R-rated Paul Verhoeven.
I mean, I don't know how much. I don't think you have to make it as gory as some. Like, you don't have to make it Glorious Bastards, but I think you could have something. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. It doesn't have to be super gory, but it's got to be.
I don't know.
They've got to cuss. They got to talk to each other.
Can't be gory.
It's got to be like.
They don't really kill anybody ever. That's not the G.I. Joe way.
Bullshit.
I'm tired of that. I don't want that. Masters of the Universe. Yeah, but it's not for
no G.I. Joe fans ever wanted them to jump out of the plane every time. That was one of the things that we fucking hated. Like, no G.I. Joe fan wants that. A G.I. Joe fan wants like cool storylines with characters. We don't want
Right.
cheesiness. Like some of the cheesiness that people complained about was exactly that with the Snake Eyes movie, the magic aspect. There was like a lot of cheesiness in there that people keep
cheesy
talking
is
about.
the first G.I. Joe movie. Rise of
They're
Cobra.
all cheesy. They're all, in my
Snake Eyes
opinion,
is
they were all
way
cheesy.
less cheesy. Way less
Yeah,
cheesy.
because he was quiet and he couldn't say anything. So
You have to make him universal though, because if you don't make him universal, they're not going to put him in the theater. So you can't have Quentin Tarantino G.I. Joe. You need something in between Miss the Hun and what Brian's telling us. We need a combination of the two. And I don't think we're ever going to be, as adults, and we're like, oh cool, it'd be cool to see the Banner Brother. That might be fan. You know what I mean?
It's
that might be like
wish list.
fan made.
That's like,
I don't think we're gonna get the cinematic thing of that. Where I think there is a happy medium where you can make it without cussing and without shooting somebody through an eyeball, and at the same time have a comprehensive series that you could show to somebody who's a 12-year-old and get them to fall in love with the G.I. Joe series. Well, if you don't, then you don't have.
That's all we fucking get. Bullshit. We're talking hypotheticals here. We've had all the other silliness. We've had where they dumb it down so you make it so little kiddies can watch it.
No, they make it
all
for kiddies.
3 of those fucking movies are dog shit, and we just got done saying they were dog shit. Why do we want more dog shit? Change it up.
I think you can get between both of those. You don't. It doesn't have. It
comes down to writing. You're 100% right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be badass as a gritty war movie.
It doesn't have to be a whole war movie, but like it should start out, talking about that initial team and how tight they are and this and that, and it should have a story around that initial team, and then you.
That's why I followed you back on Instagram.
Yeah. So, anyways, G.I. Joe, good stuff.
No, I hear what you're saying.
As long as we get to see the fucking aircraft carrier,
that'd be dope. It should be more. You're right. It should be more army based than what it is. It has now become like some tech joke.
Millennials aren't into like this militarization stuff.
It doesn't have to necessarily be like army and but they have to go through like that type of shit. I mean, they're G.I. Joe. They're war soldiers. Yeah, that's what
Rise
they
of
do.
Cobra didn't even want to make them American anymore. They were based in Egypt. It was like an international thing. They changed that then too. So if you want real Joe, a real American hero, I don't know if people want that anymore.
JJ though, how many toys that are selling out in the toy section of stores are going to kids? Because they're not. They're going to grown.
No, it's the grown ass people. You're right.
Yeah, dude.
Great point. Yeah, Dwayne Scott says
we need to
this keeps up, we'll never see Serpentor. That's funny.
Hey, yeah, that's a perfect example. The G.I. Joe cartoon movie. If you go back and watch that, it's not dumbed down, right? That Serpentor stuff is kind of fucked up, and they did a good job with it. Why can't we get that? Why can't we get that? Huh?
It's because they don't want to take the time to build the character, to have a good storyline about the character, so you care about the character. It's just hurry up and get to the Serpentor. Hurry up and get to Serpentor. Hurry up and get to the, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, I didn't even know who this character was.
And that's what I thought any of those Snake Eyes did. They didn't rush into all the other G.I. Joe stuff. It just focused on Snake Eyes. We got Baroness, we got Scarlet, a little bit at the end, but it was a lot of the stuff like, nobody said knowing is half the battle, because all that stuff is yet to come if they ever make more of the movies.
And they're not going to. So,
yeah, they're not. I don't know.
Amen.
Yeah, just make it animated from now on. I think that's a good idea. Go back and do that. Animations do well.
Probably the best G.I. Joe movie live action animated is G.I. Joe Resolute. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. Resolute is really. It's like an 80-minute animated movie. Pipe some Tomax and Zaymot into his veins. All right.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. That'd be cool as hell.
Here.
So maybe G.I. Joe just doesn't have. Yeah, G.I. Joe's burnt.
It is.
Burnt. Don't
it's
have
fucking
that
burnt.
audience.
It's fucking burnt.
It's just us fanboys
fucking
hanging
burnt.
up.
Cash.
I don't know. I don't think it's burnt. You can make it. Well, again, I didn't think Scarlett Johansson was burnt either. So
They wanted to bring in a shared universe with G.I. Joe, with Mask, with Transformers, and there was one other thing. It could be like the whole Dark Universal monster movie. Like,
did you guys like any
out
of
of the gate,
Transformer
that
movies,
thing
though?
ended.
Didn't IDW is IDW losing the Hasbro line? What's going on with the Hasbro line in comics right now?
Well, they're doing G.I. Joe and they're doing Transformers.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said I remember hearing something that IDW lost all the Hasbro.
I'm not aware of
licenses. Let's see here.
Okay, did you guys like any of those Transformer movies either though? Any of them?
No,
I did.
You
I'm
did?
like I'm the only person on the planet. I like the movies better as they go along. Call me crazy.
I thought
the first one is
transforming of them
boring
was
now. I like getting to the third one and the fourth one. It just gets crazy Transformer shit.
I mean, hey, Megan Fox is in it and she's not burnt, so
her thumbs are.
Her thumbs are just like this long, though.
I don't know. People hate on the Transformers movies. It's literally fucking toys fighting other giant toys.
I know, but when you have the cartoon movie, speaking of that, it's coming back in theaters to some of those special theaters. Make sure you check it out. When you had that movie, the cartoon movie was so good, and then you got to see whatever the shit they put on the screen.
So what you want though? You want just a new cartoon movie? Because Netflix,
sure. Yeah, I'll take it. It's good. It's good.
Have you watched it on Netflix? The Transformers in on Netflix. They have 3 different Transformers series.
Yeah, I watched 2 of them. They were okay.
Just okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
Dude, the way they made him transform in the movies was badass.
Oh man, the special
badass hands
effects
down.
Yeah, the first couple movies, the special effects are still fucking way better than any movie today. Special effects, and that was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I get it. But do you remember that? Do you remember the cartoon movie, like the original one?
I mean, yeah, it was a great movie. It's heartbreaking. It even has
heartbreaking, and it was like it had everything in it. It was just so good. I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to be able to get back up to that, but
that was a culmination of a series too. Though it wasn't just a movie that just out of nowhere. If you were a kid and you watched all those episodes, then that movie came out. That's a whole different experience than just going to a
then you watched the movie and Optimus Prime died, and
Optimus Prime died. I don't give a shit.
And then your little piece of you inside died.
Yeah.
And you learned that the world was a cruel and unfair place, and everything has been ruined after that.
That's why I started kicking dogs after that. Just started kicking random dogs after that. Fast and the Furious with Transfer. Oh Jesus! Oh my Lord! You lost that book. You didn't win that book anymore. You lost the book.
You don't get the book anymore.
You don't get the book anymore. Over. Number that. Yeah, I don't disagree with Mojo though. And Raid, like making a shared universe might actually do something. I thought they were kind of trying to do that with one of the. Were they kind of trying to do that with one of the movies, with the Transformer movies, when they had the guys that were the covert operation guys? Who's that guy? This guy. You can't see me. Mike Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena.
Oh, and Bumblebee.
Can't see me.
Hey, you know what? Michael Bay's best movie is still Armageddon.
Yeah, I don't.
Not The Rock.
Not The Rock. No,
not The Rock.
Not The Rock.
Come on, Sean Connery.
No, dude. Timeout. Put him in. Miss Hunt, put him in timeout now, please. He's got to be put.
You know
in
what?
timeout.
I've never seen Armageddon. And
what?
Maybe I
You're
never
right,
will.
You're right.
I saw the fucking music video. I don't know how many times when it came out, but I never saw the movie.
That's not the best part. The best part's when they go out and get the crew. The one dude's on the hog. The other guy's like, that's the only part of that movie I will actually watch is when they go out to get the team. The one guy, they're like, "This." I had a friend like this too. Tried to give him a job one time. They came back and they're like, "Do you know what's in this guy's piss? There's no way we can hire this fucking guy." I was like, "No fucking hire him." So I always liked that movie. That was a good movie. Talking about The Rock.
The Rock was not better than Armageddon.
JJ suspended.
He
I
is.
guess he's not showing up tomorrow.
As much as I used to want him on MCM, I just can't do it now. You can keep him on the Star Wars show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right there.
Armageddon is awesome.
So how about we move into the next fandom and MOTU, because I believe a couple of us have now seen the series.
Yeah, we have. Real quickly, one more plug for Renovision on Wednesdays. Come see me and Pete over at Renovision on Wednesdays, and please give us. We're so close to hitting 1,000. Thanks a lot for the mute, Kyle. So close to hitting 1,000 over there. We would really appreciate it. All right, go ahead.
It's you know what? It's great what you and Pete are doing over there. I get a kick watching. I laugh my ass off watching you guys over there. It's a lot of fun.
It is. I mean, it is.
I am your guys' one thumbs down.
Are you? I appreciate that every time.
No,
I appreciate that.
I like thumbs down the Absolute Geek podcast, and that's it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, so let's talk. So did you guys want to talk? It's late. We can talk about MOTU now because I think Brian, we've already heard his opinion on it. He wants to go kick puppies too, and apparently anybody who's millennial
wants to go catch frogs.
My opinion was actually really good on it. I said that it was the animation was stellar. The action was great in it. The music was killer. They just fell flat with their storyline. It fell really flat for me. So I don't want to kick puppies over it. I'm a little angry that they didn't, base it more on He-Man, but whatever. It is what it is.
I liked all the side characters though that they actually kind of gave. Me and Ish were talking about this earlier. Like we got to see for the first time, in the original cartoon, you never got to see like Stinkor, and there was like some of the other vehicles and stuff that you didn't really get to see. They didn't. The Merman, like the storyline wasn't as good as it was here. It was cool to see all that. Would it have been good to see? Well, yeah, it would have been good to see more He-Man, but maybe they should have made it like 12 episodes instead of 5.
They did. There's 6 more episodes coming.
Yeah, we just got.
They should give us all at once. Look, man, I'm binging. I'm not trying to do this bullshit. Look, this ain't Star Wars. We don't put one thing out a week. You give me all my shit now, dude. I don't want this. No, I want it all at once. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know there's more obviously with the cliffhanger, but like, it just are we spoiling this too? We're spoiling.
Spoil away. We spoil away on this channel.
Yeah. Okay. So the one biggest problem I had. And Brian's right on this. There was a little bit of corniness to it. I disliked how they unleashed the power where they had He-Man do the stupid like through Skeletor, like I tricked you to stab me, and then he in the back end repowered and stabbed him after we all knew after he came out of the heaven that it was gonna happen because like how stupid is that? And then Lynn flipped, but I thought they did a great job with Lynn. I thought they did a great job with Merman.
She almost kind of stole the show.
You just keep watching Flipside, Flame. Don't worry about He-Man. Just keep watching the Flipside.
Channel. But no, I mean, I really do. I because I joke on Moss Man a lot and the smell of pine. Like I thought that shit was hilarious when Skeletor goes, smells like burning pine needles. They got me. Like there's some jokes in there that fucking hit home with me. I know it didn't hit home with everybody else, but like with me, yeah, some of that shit hit home when they were talking about some of the original characters and the Gen 1 stuff. Like, I thought it was funny that they included the fucking toy line. And like, I thought they include the stuff that they included with the toy line. I thought was fucking funny, and how they missed the point of Stinkor. And then like, I like and Brian said this earlier too, like the Moss Man's backstory inside of the heaven area, right? Where he was talking about the whole Earth thing. I thought that was cool, man. So I didn't have a problem with it.
You know what I found with He-Man? I was watching it, and this is how I gauge shows and how this might be dumb.
Yes, you can.
Whatever it is. This is how I gauge how I like shows. How many times I pick up my phone and start fucking looking at stuff while I'm watching something. And what I caught myself doing a lot through He-Man was picking up my phone. So it didn't keep me zoned into Masters of the Universe as I wanted it to. And I don't know if it was just I watched it at a bad time. I don't know if it was just that, but that's what I found myself doing, is picking up my phone a lot and doing shit.
Oh, Thundercats.
Damn, Sam is late.
Sorry, guys. I went to the Diamondbacks game and I caught a home run ball.
Nice.
So I'm stuck around for the end of the game, but you summoned me when we started talking about Master of the Universe.
Did you watch it? That's what I found
Yeah.
though. I found myself on my phone, looking at Instagram, watching stuff on the Tales from the Flipside channel. That's what I found myself doing while He-Man was on.
Yeah, I found myself just scratching my head. I was like, when is this going to be a He-Man show? And you guys have, I mean, you guys have already seen it, but yeah, it's just like,
You mean you wanted a guy running around in the same action pose like this? He-Man, He-Man. Then 2 seconds later, He-Man, He-Man.
Yeah, I wanted it so
if
that
you want
He-Man
that,
and his
watch the
friends are
cartoon.
always bailing him out of shit.
You sound like, you know who you sound like, Marco? You sound like Kevin Smith. That's exactly the same stuff
That
he
guy's
was
a
saying.
fucking liar.
He was saying that same thing when he got called out for lying to everybody. It's like,
Well, no, I mean, I watch, but I actually like with my kids, I watch the original He-Man, like still to watch the original He-Man to this day.
Sure.
So I get to see the original He-Man because guess what? Like I told Ish, it ain't like fucking Star Wars where George Lucas changed it and Han doesn't shoot first anymore. You can actually, awesome, they remastered it. Go watch the shit, and I do. So like, if that's what I want to watch, that's what I'm going to watch. When they do something new, I want to waste my time watching something new. I want it to be new. Was it great? No, but it wasn't bad. Like, I mean, it was fine. It didn't. I wasn't like Kyle and bored out of my shit. I actually watched it and enjoyed some parts. I enjoyed some of the jokes in it. I like that they did.
I didn't say I was bored. I just said I found myself on my phone a lot. Like I would set it back down and watch for a while, but then I caught myself back on my phone.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then I'd have to rewind shit because I had what the hell are they talking about? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what happened.
You know, they gave Kevin Smith, or a lot of people gave Kevin Smith a lot of shit for lying about being a fan.
That's a fucking liar.
But they did go
Hope
back.
He never comes on this channel.
And they watched the entire series, and they determined that this is a sequel. It's a direct sequel to the original series. And if you guys remember, towards the end of that run, the show was kind of being very less He-Man centric and more other character centric, especially Teela. And then they started promoting She-Ra, and she got her own show. And at one point, you didn't even have He-Man anymore. You just had She-Ra. So they're kind of continuing. So in their minds, I could see in their minds, like, oh, we're continuing exactly what everybody loved. We're just going to continue with that. But then they're also forgetting they know their history, but they're not learning from their history because He-Man at one point, 1986, 1987 was $800 million business. And it almost in a year dropped from $800 million to $40 million. Why? Yeah. Because of She-Ra, because of Teela, and that whole change of focus. And so it's like, this is what they ran with. Something that was once the demise of He-Man to begin with.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the cartoon was really designed to help sell the toys, right? The toy line came first, and then they designed the cartoon, and then they designed the comic book around the toy to give the toy context. And so this is a toy that's meant to serve little boys who are wanting action figures to fight with each other. And so if you're
servicing little boys, huh? Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're venturing too far away from that formula, it's going to fail.
You know, they had Straczynski was one of the original writers on the He-Man comic. He came up with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Of the lore.
J. Michael, I always forget which. Michael J. Straczynski.
I get it, but when from now, what's our ranking of like, and I don't know because I didn't listen to Kevin Smith say anything about it, so I don't know any of it. But like, what's our ranking here? Like, how big of a fan do you have to be before? What he's lying because he said he was a fan, but he wasn't a fan, or like, is this what we're gonna rank on who can now write and who can direct? He didn't even write. He directed, right? He didn't even write, right? He just directed the shit.
He wrote the pilot. He wrote the pilot episode.
Wrote the pilot episode and then directed.
So the other episode, he's the executive producer and he's the story editor.
So
we're not saying he has to be a fan to write it.
Let's get it.
But don't say I was never a fan and then hey, I love this.
I don't give a shit. Just make something good. I don't care about that either.
Yeah, I agree with you, Marco.
I'll be a super fan of anything if Netflix hands me a check. I'll be
if it's good,
super fan. You know, if
it's good, that's what matters, right?
Well, I guess my question is like the whole thing. Thank you, Josh, again.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Oh,
I got it.
This is what I'm going to ask you. What I'm going to ask you is this: it's to the He-Man. The whole basis was sell the toy line, without a doubt. Go back and watch some of that. That's all they were doing. Is if they brought, nobody's buying that shit. The shit was on clearance in Target before the fucking TV show even came out, dude. So selling the toys is not what it's going for anymore. It was trying to be a little bit entertainment and maybe get a little reminiscent, right? But it's not selling toys to little boys anymore because nobody's buying. No kid is playing with a $60 purple tiger anymore. Like that just ain't happening. So
it's middle-aged men buying that shit.
Well, no, they're both. There's one green tiger, the other
purple
panther. Sorry, purple panther. My bad. Either way, the point being is like, so what's the point? You want to show that is selling toys, or do you want to get some of the background storylines on some of the? I mean, what would your ideal
Netflix subscriptions?
All right, so.
Pays for Netflix,
there's a lot. There's a lot kind of encapsulated in what you're saying there. So, first things first, Kevin Smith. It's not that he has to be a fan, but he was selling a He-Man show to the fans, and it wasn't a He-Man show. He kept saying it was all about He-Man. It was all about He-Man. Just wait till you see it. It's all about He-Man. And this was after the leaks. It was after the leaks that said this was all about Teela. They're flipping the script, and it's going to be all about Teela. But I would say to you, Marco, the reason why I put the Thundercats Ho as my name today is that they did the same thing with Thundercats back in 2011.
Yeah.
And what they did was they reintroduced Thundercats as this kind of updated property. They redid the lore for Third Earth. Mm-hmm. And then they also marketed the toys because the cartoon itself was a high-quality show. It was the toys were really good, and they kind of had the symbiosis between them and fed, and it did well for about a year. For the first season, did well. The second season, the toys started to fall off because they wanted to change the way that the Thundercats looked, and it didn't go well with fans. And so when the toy line started to fall apart, that's when Cartoon Network said that they were going to cancel the cartoon. Mm-hmm. And if He-Man is successful on Netflix, you can bet that those toys are going to sell. Mm-hmm. But if they don't have that kind of symbiosis, because either the cartoon doesn't appeal to the existing fan base, or the toys don't appeal to a younger fan base, both are going to fall apart.
So here's where I think you're wrong. I'll go grab the tub. As some people have seen it before. If you watch Renovision, I still have the original.
We're going to see Marco's tub.
The He-Mans that have the original He-Man in it. Like I still have them, still play with them, let my kids play with them. Okay. Still use those ones to the day. My kids have watched the cartoons for He-Man. They also got to watch this show. You know what? They like this show too. So what I'm saying is like, I understand some people are mad because apparently Kevin Smith lied to you, or, hey, you didn't get to, but the bottom line is kind of what True Greed said. If you don't get the kids in and the kids like it, man, if you have to do something for them. If it's cutting some character's hair, she looks like whatever, that's fine. I don't give a shit about that. At least we get to see something new, is what I'm saying. At least it keeps bringing on, and at least we'll have cool stuff and cool toys. The Thundercat toys that came out were cool, but it hasn't always been. yeah. He told us Affleck's Daredevil, and he said that Affleck was the best Batman he's ever seen before. I mean, like, what? So the fuck, like, unless it's Jay and Silent Bob, I don't know why everybody's taking his comments. So, like, who the hell cares what he says?
Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, though.
Like, Jesus Christ! If we could get away from that, I guess I'm saying is like, if you want something that is gotta be universally like, not just like, hey, I just don't understand how you get the mix, right? Like I hear it a lot, but a lot of people when I was talking to them and comic book store stuff, they're like, we heard that this thing was going to be terrible, and it wasn't terrible. I don't know, fans, people our age, people who watch this show, we know what the demographics are. These are the people I'm talking to, and you know what they said? It's not as bad as everybody's saying it is. It was okay and it's passable. I mean, except for Kyle.
Now, I'll say this. I did watch all 5 episodes in one sitting. I wasn't bored through them. I thought they were pretty decent. I thought they did with the properties what they did with Thundercats, but instead of making it about He-Man, they did make it about Teela. And I was hoping to see kind of a He-Man take like they did with Thundercats, where you know he's kind of rebuilding himself from scratch, right? For a new generation, kind of so people can get in tune with why He-Man is or was as popular as he was. Instead, they took it a different direction, and that's the part where I think a lot of people, that's the part where I think a lot of people
reboot then
jump ship. What's that?
Sam, would you have preferred like a reboot, just a straight up reboot, retell the He-Man Prince Adam story?
See, I wouldn't.
I don't think it needs to be a reboot, but you know, the way that they did Prince Adam's journey from, you know, after the first episode where he gets killed, it becomes Teela's journey from then on. And then as soon as he gets back, he's stabbed again, and it's not his hero's journey, right? He's looking like the fall guy for everything. So it's not a He-Man.
Well, I guess we don't know what's coming. It could be
it's not done yet.
It's not done, right? It's the first half of the first season.
And by the way, I think they did give a little bit for the He-Man fan, because the whole Moss Man He-Man portion of it was I thought was really well done. And I thought that whole section was really good. And with it not being done too, I see everybody saying Teela because I guess she was there, but there was also other people. You had to have, I mean, the cast of characters that came in there and were developed, I thought they did a really good job on. Ones that were mainly
they did a really good job with Evelyn.
Yeah, Evelyn. But the Oracle thing, I get it. Like, to explain the magic, like to have the balance of magic, because it made sense now, right? Like magic versus science, right? It's not a hard concept, and it's been in He-Man but never really been touched on before. I thought that was kind of cool how they did it. I mean, I really did. I thought that was cool. The cultness stuff was kind of cool too. I liked all that stuff. Would I have liked a little bit more He-Man? Sure, but we got another 6, right? Like, he's not dead. Okay, look, I'll come back after these 6 are out. If he's dead, dead, they killed him off, and whatever with the pant thing that whatever his name was talking about, then I'll say the thing sucks, all right? But like at this point, it's good storyline. Like I liked it.
Steak in your pants? Are you just happy to see us?
Oh jeez, Pete.
And I hope we get more.
So he got stabbed. He definitely is stabbed.
I thought the stabbing
not
thing
necessarily that's not necessarily a death.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
But the other thing that has me worried is that Kevin Smith is saying that the next bunch of episodes are going to be all about He-Man. And if he lied about the first half, he's got to be lying about the second half.
That guy's a fucking liar.
Though. Yeah, you guys are like reading the Inquisitor. Like, I don't know any of this shit. So I'm just going in and watching it.
Oh, dude, these are videos posted on Twitter for everybody to see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's, like I said, I didn't got time for that shit. So I haven't watched any of that crap. I just had enough time to watch the TV show, right? Like, I don't care what Kevin Smith has to say. I don't follow whatever the rumor mill is in watching it, which other people did too, without it, hearing like, oh, okay, it's supposed to suck. And then you watch it without like whatever he said, or if he's a liar or not, serves no purpose. Like, it really serves no purpose for entertainment. And if you take that out of it, I would suggest you guys would stop following him on Twitter. First off, I don't even know on Twitter, so I don't know, whatever. I mean, but like, stop following on Twitter. It seems like you have a problem that you're following some dude on Twitter. That seems to be your problem with enjoying He-Man, not that the fact that the show is actually pretty decent.
Okay, so first off, it's not a He-Man show. It's Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Okay,
it's not a He-Man.
Well, you have a problem with the He-Man in it. He-Man's portion in it is what I'm saying.
And the problem that me and other fans have is that we were sold a bill of goods, right? It's not that the show we got wasn't decent or okay or good. It's that it wasn't the show we were promised, right?
Who promised you the show?
Kevin Smith, the guy who started the show.
On Twitter. Get off Twitter.
Times.
My whole point is get the fuck off Twitter.
It doesn't matter if the guy comes out who's the executive producer, the showrunner, the writer, whatever, and he tells you something. I'm
telling you, I enjoy the show because I'm not on Twitter.
Good for you, Marco. We've heard that 1,000 fucking times.
Get off Twitter.
He's another fan's perspective, dude. Holy shit.
I hear it. Well, I'm just
I
trying to
agree
help
with Marco. There's something to be said with, watching these movies and reading comics with zero social media pre-interference. I think it kills a lot of the stuff. Before we even watch something, we already have these crazy preconceived notions, which is really just based on someone else's opinion.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, if I went into that not knowing anything before, I'd be even more fucking mad. I'll be honest. I'd be more fucking pissed.
I would say it's a marketing question, right? If they're marketing it as a He-Man story, all of the press, all of the Twitter stuff is marketing. right? So they were marketing it to a specific audience, right? Guys like us who grew up watching this stuff, and
or who grew up playing with this stuff,
playing with the toys, right? I mean, I had the full set, and so they're marketing it. It's not just that it's people on the rumor mill talking on Twitter. This is their marketing campaign. Everything that they showed as far as ads for the series, they all show He-Man fully bulked out with a sword above his head. I have the power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of the commercials had that.
But if you go to the Wikipedia page, it says it's a Tila show.
Exactly, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're 100%
But
right.
I'm saying that's they didn't correct that. They didn't try to cover that up. I mean,
and you just corrected
because it is what it is.
And you just tried to correct me a minute ago. You said it's not a He-Man show; it's a Masters of the Universe show. So it's still Masters
that
of the
they
Universe.
build as
Now we know. Now we know it's not a He-Man show. After they came out, now we know. But they were trying to sell it to us as something else.
To the panel, Figure of Drawing says, did you
Really
guys
a
actually like
cringer
Kevin
show.
Smith before Masters of the Universe? He is a crybaby, out of touch grandma. I will say this. I was a fan of Kevin Smith, probably more so before he lost all his weight. And I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm saying time period wise. It seems like after he lost all that weight, like he's not the same Kevin Smith. Time period wise.
Kevin Smith sucks.
Yeah, fat Kevin Smith's so much funnier, bro. But anyways, like I felt like he lost a lot of
mortality.
He lost a lot. He lost something along the lines in the writing that he's been doing. His writing hasn't been great. All those movies, Tusk, the fucking Yoga Hosers, that writing on that shit
Yoga
was garbage.
Hosers was actually pretty funny.
Come on,
if you watch it for
if
what
you're a
it
Kevin
is,
Smith fan and you're a Kevin Smith fan and you know all the like inside shit, yeah, maybe.
If you watch it, if you watch Tusk is not Tusk, but if you watch Yoga Hosers, it's like a teenage girl movie. It's funny.
Yeah, he did have a major heart attack. You're right, JJ. You're 100% right, which could have changed how his thoughts on everything.
He did it after a show. Yeah. It was during one of his
he's vegan
an evening with Kevin Smith things.
Yeah. Shit, he just started smoking weed too. So, he hasn't been
smoking weed on the set of Zack and Miri. Seth Rogen gave him his
which is a
joint.
fucking great movie.
All right, so
whatever.
So here's my other take, Marco, is if you're trying to market to a certain crowd, you don't have all of the time in the world to bring them around to your product. He had 5 episodes to say, look, this is He-Man. We're bringing it back. All of that masculine power is coming back at you in 3D. It's coming to your face. And he squandered those 5 episodes. And so there's a lot of folks out there. I'm sure there's a few on this panel who are going to say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And they're not going to tune in. So if he was holding something back in that second half, I think that's a mistake. He should have put it all in.
Okay, I think you're 100% wrong with that. I'm willing to bet that everybody that watched the first time are going to watch the other episodes, even if they hate watching it.
I don't think that everyone will.
On this panel? Yeah, I agree. I think they are. I think you're going to watch it, Brian.
I think the only reason that I'm going to watch it is because I have to, because I have a comic book podcast, right? And a pop culture podcast. I'm definitely not going to watch it because I want to. Let me put it that way.
Either way, I mean, like, I get that you're going to...
I had to choke down the final 3 episodes on this to watch it. I didn't want to watch it. Like, that 6th episode was garbage. It was absolute garbage. It had one good thing in that 6th episode, and that was the whole Forge thing and stuff like that. But everything else was like, I had to choke it down.
What if you, Brian, and I'm not trying to be rude here, but what if, I mean, like, out of our nostalgia, right? Like, out of our nostalgia stuff that we grew up with as kids, what have you liked? I mean, I didn't like the G.I. Joe stuff either. So, like, I get it. And the Transformer wasn't for me. But, like, is there something they've remade? And this probably goes for everybody. Is there anything that they've remade from our childhood that we are, like, all in, and
let's ask the chat, give us some examples of something that might have been from our childhood that they recently put something out that might have been good, because right now I can't. I'll be honest, I can't. I'm sure there are some, but I can't think of anything right now. I'm sure there are some though, because don't get me wrong.
Basically, which
how about
fandom
Titans?
is
Titans?
not disappointing?
Titans was great. Titans was fucking amazing.
That's what I'm saying is like from your childhood though, like
Titans. I was a huge fan of Titans. That was from my childhood. Titans was great.
Because I think it's hard to compete with nostalgia. Like it is.
It is.
And I
If
think
you
like,
already have an
Transformers, G.I.
expectation,
Joe.
it's a problem.
So don't change the status quo. I'll give advice. Don't change the status quo on something that is so many people are nostalgia about, because they're nostalgia about the original. When you change it, it changes everything.
But they need more. Like you need a broader audience. So you have to do something, and you can't just keep replaying the same thing over and over.
Well, then you don't give a shit about the people who are with you in the beginning.
Yeah, agreed.
So then what's the fucking point?
I got a couple examples. I like the
Sell
2012. The 2012 Ninja Turtles was really good.
Turtles, I could give you that. There are some turtle stuff. I
mean that's my question was just like, because I think we are overcritical because we rank nostalgia so high.
Castlevania was really fucking good. Castlevania was awesome.
Yep.
But that was the video game converted to the TV show.
Still nostalgia. That's still shit from my childhood.
Fair
Castlevania was my second favorite video game ever. What else? Let's see here.
How about
which
the
one,
live
Michael?
action
Which one of those?
movie?
Mandalorian, Star Wars, the Mandalorian stuff
That's
from Star Wars
because it's a new tale on it. I'm talking about
Boba
like
Fett's not a new tale. That's not a new fucking tale. That's
they came up with that
nostalgia
in
from
the
our childhood. The Mandalorian is hugely nostalgic. Huge. They brought back Luke Skywalker for God's sake.
That was on the second.
That's when Marco cried.
From the first, it was big.
Yeah, that's when I teared up on that, man. When I saw that fucking X-wing fly in, I was like, bomb.
I did not cry at that. And
You
I was
did.
not. No.
Mighty Ducks was terrible.
You're talking about
was terrible.
Talking about you're talking about the second one. The first one had already been.
The first one was great too. The first one was
which
one
didn't
too.
have Bubba or Luke in it, which is
It doesn't matter. It was built on nostalgia. That shit's built on nostalgia. Don't act like that shit wasn't built on nostalgia. They shot it just like the original Star Wars. They went back to a different thing. It was built on. Shit was definitely built on nostalgia.
Like the original Star Wars. It was actually shot on the gaming platform and green screen, not like small models and converted.
Okay, I guess you're right. It wasn't shot like the original Star Wars. They're not going to go back to 77 and use the same cameras. I get it. But what I mean by that is, I guess I should have said original Star Wars fans, old school original Star Wars fans like that shit more than anything that Star Wars has put out before that. So that was definitely nostalgia.
They're not doing another
like Rogue One
movie.
Yeah, what about Rogue One? You forgot.
I thought Rogue One was good.
It was like a mix of a fresh take and nostalgia.
Yeah, I thought that was good. That was really good. They did a good job with that.
What I'm saying is, like, a lot of times I think we're just overcritical on it because we like what we remember it as kids. And like, I wonder how many times we go back and watch originally what we were watching, and then say like, hey, maybe putting a fresh spin on something instead of just rehashing the same stuff would make a difference.
I don't go back and watch stuff like that because I've put it on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. See, I still go back and watch
it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I still go back and watch it all, and I still think it's good, but it has its place. You know what I mean? So, all right.
But I mean, when they do stuff, they have to kind of bring it up to the times and the culture that it is now.
Thank you, Blue Green. There you go.
It's a fine line to walk to satisfy us sitting right here,
absolutely,
and the general audience, and get new customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I will say the whole like queer baiting storyline that kind of was going on with that thing didn't play any. I didn't see any of that. Like I kind of felt that was a little talked about out of turn. Felt like it was more just of a friendship than anything. But you know,
didn't the original cartoon towards the end, the He-Man or Prince Adam and Teela had a little kind of thing going that they were hinting at.
And that's what I felt like was almost happening when she kept on being mad at him. That was another thing. Like she kept on being angry at him that he didn't tell her. And like when they were in heaven and they were talking, I was like,
I'm turning lesbian now because of that. Screw you.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Turning lesbian.
Yeah. Shave my head. Because now a half shaved head on a female is,
I can't think of any any other thing where you can be
Not
nostalgic.
in Ohio, apparently. They just had tattoos, and then Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
I think here.
I mean, J.J. Abrams, J.J. Treks, for me, did not satisfy any Star Trek nostalgia whatsoever.
Don't worry, he fucks Star Wars too. He just likes to bend everybody.
Same
over,
thing.
so.
That's when I saw The Force Awakens. I was not a fan of that movie.
Everything Marvel's done is nostalgia-wise, and they knocked it out of the park. I don't think Marvel put out anything bad. That's all nostalgia to me.
The Incredible Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man wasn't Marvel necessarily. That was more Sony. That was all garbage. Anything Marvel put out,
I think
was
you're
good.
nitpicking, Marco.
I agree.
I'm nitpicking because I'm like, it's not as bad as everybody else is saying. Like, yeah.
Dude, that new Ghostbusters. JJ brings up something cool. Did everybody see that new Ghostbusters trailer?
Yes, that was fucking excellent. I
am so fucking excited to see that.
Really?
Let's see how we feel afterwards, though. But I will agree with you. That was nostalgia that hit home on that trailer. But could they mess it up? Because nostalgia hit home on the He-Man trailer too. I was so stoked to see He-Man when we saw the trailer, and the trailer was mostly about He-Man fighting Skeletor and this and that, and all the badass music and showing all the different characters. I was like, fuck yeah. So they could do the same thing with Ghostbusters. It could be like this really dope trailer. We got to see the movie, but it looks really.
I think they're going to knock out of the park with the new Ghostbusters.
As long as they don't kill Slimer
for that one.
Yeah, I'm not either. Slimer. I'm with Ish. I'm not. No, I'm not.
I think it's going to be a great spin to a Ghostbusters movie, and I think it's going to be a new look. And I think it's just something about it. It's just because you know what I mean. It's not like they're rebooting it. Or they're not that they're rebooting, but it's not like they're redoing the original Ghostbusters. They're doing a new spin on Ghostbusters. They're doing
Your grandpa never told you what he used to do. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, he was dead.
I guess the question is,
he died, right?
Yeah.
So he never saw the kids.
Yeah, the actor died.
It would be one thing if they were redoing the Ghostbusters, like when they did it with the chicks. Ghostbusters already is on a pedestal, so when they redid it differently, nobody liked it. But they're not redoing it; they're giving it its own.
Cool.
It's like an extension that they're giving to it.
Yeah, so I guess the question is, how do you handle nostalgia correctly?
Yeah,
It's a fine line.
I think it's toff. I just try. So like, I always just try to put it as like it's never going to be as good. I always just go into it thinking like it's never going to be as good as I remember even seeing it a while ago, or how much that feeling that I get. I'm never going to get that feeling again out of whatever new they put out. I just don't want it to be complete trash. Like complete trash.
So did Ish not like the original Ghostbusters?
No, I'm fine with it.
Oh, get out! Mute him! No! Boo you, sir! Boo you! No.
Well, okay. Full disclosure.
Boo.
He gets muted.
He got muted. He got muted during his disclosures.
Yeah, no disclosure. Boo you. There's no explanation for that. Oh my god, that's terrible.
Full disclosure. What? I won't meet you this time unless it's bad.
I got a mulligan on that one, so I'm not saying it now.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think you're right, though. I think like, how do you handle it? Like, how do you handle this? Like, the cool part is
I think you don't handle it. You got to move forward. You can't move. You can't look back. You can't move back. You have.
Who's got young kids here?
Success is forwards, not backwards. So, pandering to nostalgia comes with baggage that can set you back or slow you down.
Okay, so let's cut through the BS, right? So we all knew that they were going to do something woke with this, right? We all knew that was coming. Would it have been better if they had been honest about it and upfront about it, or what they did with the marketing and pretending it was going to be more He-Man centric when really it was Tila centric?
And I think that's where you're.
I think you're asking them to spoil the story, though. Are they going to go, "Oh, we have a new He-Man series, and by the way, he dies in the first episode"?
Well, they don't have to say that.
You're
right? They don't have to say he dies in the first episode. They can say we're going to be exploring a lot of Eternia, a lot of the other characters besides He-Man. Right? They could say we're gonna focus on some other aspects. Right?
I get that, but I think you kind of put it earlier. Like, where do we set our expectations for nostalgia? And for some of us here, We just are like, look, nostalgia's great. We love it. Just don't mess with that part of it. We don't care what new stuff you put out. We won't follow what you're going to tell us it's going to be. We're going to set a very low bar for it because this ain't the first time we rebooted something, or had that type of stuff going on. So we'll deal with it. Just whatever you do, don't mess with the original stuff. And I think that's where, like, they didn't mess with the original Masters of the Universe.
Still there.
It's still, and they didn't ruin the story. They didn't say it was a complete reboot and then do something crappy on top of it. They didn't cut out scenes of it that you'll never be able to get before.
All I know is if you're playing the drinking game,
you
should
right
be
now.
wasted by now with your He-Man.
Yeah. I want to give a quick.
They didn't retcon anything.
Yeah.
I
want to give a quick shout out. We talked about them earlier in the show, and they already announced it. So shout out to Bird City Comics and Trish and Tony over the Stray Dogs crew. For everybody that is going out to Baltimore Comic Con, here is the news.
Called it. I knew they were doing an It cover.
Yeah, well, it's not an It cover. It's an It print that comes along with it, but the cover is a homage to
R.L. Stine, right?
Yeah, R.L. Stine. So shout out to them. It's going to be a Baltimore Comic Con exclusive trade paperback. So for everybody going out to Baltimore, make sure you guys stop by Bird City Comics.
When I was watching the women's show on Tuesday, which is a good show, if you guys haven't checked it out, Tuesday nights, Comic Women, check them out. It's awesome. They were hinting at this, but they weren't actually saying it, and I was like, it can't be as good as an It cover, because their It cover was awesome. It's one of my favorite Stray Dogs covers.
Oh, so they already got it on sale and it's sold out. That's interesting. I did not know that. What do they say here?
Damn it.
Stray Dogs trade paperback exclusive pre-sale. So it is on sale, but it's not going to be available.
Click it. Let's see if we can get one.
To Baltimore. Wonder how many they got.
You can't get it till Baltimore?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's not going to come out till then. It's a Baltimore Comic Con exclusive. It is limited to 750 copies, and it is $40. So there you guys go.
Buy now.
Yeah,
Buy now.
Sorry, this item is out of stock. They sold out.
Yeah, good for them.
Congrats to Bird City Comics on this one. Great job. Big round of applause.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
They only get one clap because I don't get one.
Oh my God. Good stuff. Which reminds me, if you guys are going to Baltimore, and you see any of this Flipside crew, stop by and say hello. There's a ton of us that are going to try and make it out there. We will have a booth out there, and a lot of fun stuff going on. We rented out a ballroom or something out there, and for Saturday night, and that'll be a lot of fun. So make sure to let us know if you're going out there and stop by and say hello.
Dwayne says not one clap.
Dennis dropped a banger in drunken chat last night. You know what? I'll be honest. It was a banger. It was a banger, but it felt like it was priced a little high. But I'll give it to Dennis. It was.
I didn't watch drunken chat. I was at the drunken bar.
Yeah, Ultimate Fallout 4 variant where it's a virgin cover. He even admitted, he's like, yeah, it is a little expensive, but in order to, the margins on this are really rough, and there's only 3,000 copies. But if you're an Ultimate Fallout 4 fan, it is a must own book. I don't think it is a facsimile. And like I said, I think it's like $50. It might already be sold out. But, listen, Dennis Barger and Wonder World Comics is a titan in this industry, just like Jesse James, a friend of the channel, and you know what you're going to get with Dennis Barger. Dennis Barger is a slanger. He slangs books. So if you guys are into Ultimate Fallout, Miles, and love that Jurjevic Ultimate Fallout 4 variant cover, Wonder World Comics is there we go. Being on the Wonder World Comics mailing list got you a discount, 2 copies for $30 a piece. So like we were talking about earlier in the show, it pays to be a box holder or a email recipient. to get stuff like that. So I would have $30 is a much nicer price than $50 on anybody's list.
Oh, it's $50 for one book.
Yeah, it's the Ultimate Fallout 4 Djurjevic cover variant. So,
hey, do you want to see a Thundercats Ho live action?
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know
A
what?
bunch of furries? You want to see?
If they could do it,
Hang on.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah. I gotta see this. I gotta hear this. All right,
I went
go
to
ahead.
Phoenix Fan Fusion, and there were two people dressed as
Furries. Thundercat furries.
Thundercats. So there was a Chitara and there was a Panthro.
Oh yeah.
But the Panthro was gender bent,
What does that
and
mean? I don't
it
think.
means that they went from male to female.
Okay.
So it was a female Panthro, and she was. So I was like, okay, I can see this working in real life. We could make this happen.
What are we doing now? Is this what we're doing now? Okay. All right.
checking out some cosplay. Cosplay. I'm trying to see if we can
It'd have
find
to
those
be
people.
fully
I don't know, man.
realized characters.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
They got to do
CGI.
something.
It's going to be people in costumes with makeup. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah,
It'd have
we
to
CG.
can't
be
have
like
furries. There's no
Gollum
fur. We can't have
level
furries.
stuff.
I might be. Yeah, I might. I get it if they CGI it a little bit. I don't know. Like that. Is that somebody on the left? Either way, that might work.
If they can
And then
make,
if they cast
Lamb,
Gary Oldman as Mumra.
I know, but my biggest fear is they do Cats, Thundercats, the Cats, the musical crap. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's my
well,
worst case scenario, and I'm just.
Yeah, for real.
But that's where I set my bar with everything. So if you told me there's a live action Thunder, I'm thinking they're going to take the Cats fucking bullshit and put that up there. So if they do anything better than that, that's where I set my bar with nostalgia.
Yeah, there's a
everything.
movie I saw called Samurai Cop. Have you guys ever seen Samurai Cop?
No.
Probably the worst movie ever made. But at the same time, it got made, right? So it's like, if they'll make Samurai Cop, what won't they make?
They'll make a Samurai Cop 2.
I don't think anybody muted you, Prince.
They did make a Samurai Cop too.
I know my
There
friend
is
did
a
special
Samurai Cop.
effects on that. We went to like the screening for it.
Mods,
Oh,
are you
did
muting
you?
anybody? I don't think mods are muting anybody. They're too drunk
What's
to
his
mute anybody.
name? The dude from the room was there.
Yeah. Tommy Wiseau.
Yes,
Two.
yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Samurai Cop
Yep,
2.
Samurai Cop.
They did make Samurai Cop 2.
terrible.
You're wrong.
Was it Tommy Wiseau?
Anything's possible.
He's not in it. No, he's not
No.
in that
Tommy
movie, but he
Wiseau,
was
He's just
there,
there.
to, like, support independent,
Filmmakers.
homemade
Terrible
feature
cinema.
films. There's a YouTube channel that says Samurai Cop clips for your consideration. It is a must watch. You guys need to see this stuff.
We should review that after we're done watching the other half of He-Man. Their Masters of the Universe. Yeah.
And do we even know when that's coming out? Have they announced it?
I'm more mad about that. Like
I don't think
No.
so.
Kevin Smith lied to us. We're supposed to have a whole season here. I'm on the
Smith's a
Kevin Smith
fucking
lie.
liar.
Yeah, I'm on that train now. Rebuking furry.
When's What If coming out?
Can I show you guys one of the
Marvel's What
worst
If.
cosplays you're ever gonna see in your entire life?
Yes,
Always.
please. This is
That's the best shit I've ever seen. That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Oh, yeah.
That's Marco and Sleepy John at the last
Holy shit.
Detroit Comic Con.
Yeah, somebody put it earlier. We were shutting the lights off at that fucking con. Oh my god.
Job of the Hat.
Is Marco on the left or the right?
I'm Jabba the Hutt. That's Sleepy. If you don't know, he's over there on the right. Oh, dude, that's funny, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Thank you for that.
That's great.
I would have never searched that. I never found that if I didn't search Thundercat cosplay.
I love cosplay, man. It's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah, Job of the Purple Helmet. Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. There's our top 5 for next week. Top
Yeah.
5 cosplays.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a good one.
I think that
Top
one just
five
won
worst-
it. I think that one just won it.
Honestly, Baltimore usually have a big cosplay community out there. It's pretty. There's a Batgirl that's not a girl. that walks around. There's also a Psylocke that's really
Spectacular.
Yeah. Mhm.
Jabba the Pecker.
That's hilarious. Oh,
Jabba the Caucasaurus Rex.
Oh my god.
I can go get it.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh man.
Anyways, yeah. So I mean, I hope they do, but that's how I set my bars. Is that low? I think if you do it, you'll never be disappointed with what they come out with. I mean, you still probably can be, but
That's not true.
yeah, I know. I watched the Transformer movies and the G.I. Joe movies. They're bad. I look like a damn needle. Oh my god. Job. Need to get that checked out. Okay, good stuff. What's next? What else do we got? Anything?
That's a good
Because all we got is comments coming in. I think they have been playing the drinking game. If you've been reading the comments, they definitely have been drinking.
I'm so glad they're playing the drinking game.
I know. It's not cheap.
Good stuff, guys. Cool stuff.
I know. I always get lost in the chats, but he's really getting lost in the chats.
This is a great show. I would thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. We had a nice, strong, awesome chat tonight. If you guys got any ideas for top fives, any segments you'd like us to do, anything you'd like us to discuss, find Marco and tell him.
Yeah, find me. I'm back on hiatus again. I am back on hiatus for another 3 weeks.
You know what? You can if you find Brian, hit up Brian. You can hit up me. You can hit up the
Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments. Hit up the Modern Comic Mayhem Instagram. Whatever ways you guys can find us to get to let us know. We'd love ideas for show, for different show segments. Just let us know. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now that we have got the best listeners probably on the YouTube community right here Saturday nights hanging out with us, and we appreciate it every week. And make sure you check out all the other shows on the Tales. If this is your first time checking out us and the Tales from the Flipside channel, we have content every day of the week. There's a different show. So make sure you check out all the awesome shows that we have Monday through Sunday. Tomorrow, you guys can check out Marco and the Star Wars crew. And then Monday, you'll have Brian with the flagship show, the Tales from the Flipside show. And then Tuesday on, Comic Book Women. And then you got the great modern guys throwing out the hottest books to look out for in the comic book industry. The smartest guys you could ever find are here on this channel.
Speaking of smart guys, Steve Horn's coming on to Star Wars tomorrow. One of the smart guys from Modern. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I wish he'd come on this show.
He don't like
bedtime,
you,
bro.
You don't like us?
No, it's seriously
like
past his
us.
bedtime. It's past his bedtime.
I see how it is.
He
Past
likes
his
to
bedtime,
sleep.
bro. Yeah, I like to sleep too.
What was that Ben
BB
Stiller
66 got
movie?
your message. I'll hit you up tomorrow.
Where he's like, I just want to fucking go to sleep. What was that movie? You don't remember that? Where he played like a, can't you just go to fucking sleep? I don't know. I gotta find that. Chat, let me know if you know that. But
Trace,
anyways,
we just talked about it. It's sold out. So hopefully you got a cover. The Bird City guys, they killed it. Trish killed it on her covers for Bird City.
good stuff.
Yeah, they did, man. They killed it.
So,
Always good people.
I'm glad that Bruce is gonna hook me up.
Is that Bruce from back in the day, Bruce? From the old hangout days?
I don't know. They call me Bruce. They call me Bruce. Just hook me up with an issue, and the trade. I appreciate that.
We did, Trace. We just talked about it. Nerds out for what?
hold on.
Nope, a new Bruce.
Nope, a new Bruce. Okay. All right.
But thanks everybody for coming up, hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note,
It's good to be back.
it's good to be back.
Peace.